You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy. A rebel.
Sunrise on the horizon. Sky is blue, no denying. News with Skyjack Morgan. Bright and early new dawn. Every headline, every story. Gives your morning some glory. Stay informed, stay tuned as the day greets new blue. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling. With coffee in your cup, news to fill you right up. Cleansing weather on the go. Morning show you need to know. Join us on this daily ride with your morning side by side. Catch the latest, feel the vibe. Sky will keep you well supplied. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling.
Thank you for just being you. Thank you so much for being alive, and thank you so much for being part of the resistance. Welcome to the show. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and this is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube, the Morning Sky Show. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure that you guys have all heard, been watching the news, and having some good times. Is it audio? What's wrong with the audio? People are saying the audio. Something's wrong with the audio. Xbox mic. Ah, crap. Every once in a while with the audio, we got to do something a little special. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on. I don't know what the heck is going on. Is it like blown out or something? Is it blown out? It looks like it's blown out. Xbox mic. Interesting. Too loud. Yeah, I see that it's way loud. I don't understand why. Hold on a second. Give me a second. Give me one cotton picking.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. This should be better. This should be a little bit better. We're turning down the gain. Here we go. How's that? Übersteuert. Gain is too high. I got the gain all the way down. All right. Should be okay. Should be all right. Are we better? Way too high still. I can't tell now. This always happens with these things. Much better. Thank you. I think it should be about there. I'm not sure why all of a sudden. Let me turn. All right. There we go. That should be a little bit better. How's that? That looks better. Echo on your voice. I don't know what the hell's going on then. I don't know why the audio is weird. I got the right audio on. Still.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. This sounds actually pretty good. Pretty good. Test. Here we are.
Test. More crisp, but really low. All right, how's this? Sounds like you're far away. Now it's off. Ben from Berlin, let me know what's going on. Let me see. Still not good. I don't know why. Give me 1 second. Going to reload. So this should be working a little bit better, hopefully. How we doing, everybody? I hope everyone can hear. Hope everything is sounding good. So there's a sense range. It's probably turned up. No, I've got everything. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. How's this sounding, Ben? Ben, I see a happy face. Ben, slightly but still a bit rough. Slightly but still rough. Still 1950s radio. What in the hell is going on here? What in the hell is going on here? Testing, testing. I'm burning the gain. All the gain is all the way down. Doesn't make any sense. Overmodulated. Overmodulated doesn't help. God damn it. Why would this happen to me? Why would this happen to me right now? Out of all the things to go wrong. How about now? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. There now, you sound fine. A bit low, but good. A bit low, but good. How about now? Bingo. All right, sounds like bingo. We're good. Awesome. Well, that was fun. That was fun. We got the bingo. It's a bingo! It's a bingo, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to start the day. That was fun. I love when things start like that. Now Coach Sider says no. Back to blown. Back to blown. How is that even possible? It's not good. A bit lower. Okay, someone said it's too low, but okay, how's that? I'm too close. Now okay. All right, Pat says it's okay. There. All right, fine. I don't know. I didn't change anything between yesterday and today, so I don't know what the hell is going on. I haven't touched this machine, so that's a bit weird. This dedicated machine, and here we go. God damn it. This life of streaming. You know, it's funny though. I was watching a Philip DeFranco show, and Philip DeFranco has been doing this for way longer than me. And I saw him, and he's got all this really expensive equipment, you know, and he's got all these helpers, and he's got like a crew. And he was going live, and his mic started going wrong. And he's like, and it sounded okay, it just didn't sound perfect. And he like cut the stream, and he never came back on. And I was like, I kind of felt good. I felt bad for Philip DeFranco, but I kind of felt good because here I am trying to do this. You have background hiss. Something else is one, it seems. As producers, you have background hiss, but it's fine. I have background hiss all of a sudden. What in the hell is going on here? I don't know why there would be background hiss. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Feedback is essential, indeed, Chris Petsavas. You're saying that there's background hiss now. Cool. That sucks because now you're good. I can't hear myself, so you sound okay to me. Okay, cool. It's fine but low. You guys are killing me right now. You're killing me, son. You're killing me. It's fine but low. If it's fine but low, that ain't fine. That ain't fine. It ain't fine if it's low. I mean, because we're going to have later on, I cut these up. It's not good. If you abuse the mic, you're going to be fine. If I abuse the mic, we could turn your volume down. I can't turn my volume all the way down because, what happens then is I'm not able to use, the whole testing, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully everything has worked. Background hiss is still there. The hiss is always here today. It didn't just happen. It was always there today. It didn't just happen. The hiss didn't always just happen. All right, we're going to try one more thing. All right, we're going to reduce background noise maybe. Testing. All right, now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by the son of York. You did something a second ago and it cleared out the random noise. I did? I did something a second ago and it cleared out the random noise. Coach Sider says good. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh, man, what a friggin'... This is the last stream of the week. Well, the last Morning Sky show of the week. So, okay, this is what we're going to do. Jack, I finally figured out something important. Normal reticulum identity as I'm getting closer. That sounds amazing. Make wood chippers great again. Convict Epstein child molesters. I love it. Thank you. Wonderful. All right, this is the Morning Sky Show. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. This is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. Welcome to the show. I am so glad that you're alive. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're part of the resistance. Thank you so much. I am super stoked that you're here. Yesterday I went to my book club. It was of this book, You Weren't Meant to Be Human. And I tell you, this book, it's a horror novel, and I'm in a horror book club. I'm in a few book clubs, I'm trying to build community. I'm trying to get out there and meet different people that I wouldn't normally meet. And so last time I was there, the first book I didn't like, but I got to pick the next book, and I just Googled, what is, an intense horror book that's weird and creepy and, definitely not for everybody. And it suggested this one. And You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. And I'll tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was extreme. I didn't know what I was getting into. And that was so much better because I didn't realize that the book was about a mute trans man who doesn't know he's pregnant. And he's also part of a cult of worm creatures that are taking over people's bodies and hollowing them out and turning them into shells and throwing them away. I thought it was a wonderful metaphor about who is in charge in America and the working class and how downtrodden we are and how we are simply thrown around and promised nothing, promised family and connection and promised all these things, but then the corporation grinds you down to nothing, takes everything, including your firstborn, even forces you to live the life that they want you to live, and delivers nothing. And that we think that these institutions are impervious. We think that these institutions are indestructible, but it doesn't take much. Maybe it only takes a hammer. Maybe it only takes a hammer to bring it all down. I really highly recommend this book if you can get. If you like horror, a lot of body horror, a lot of scary shit going on in this book, I really recommend it, but you can't be squeamish. Don't read it if you're squeamish, because there's a lot going on in this book. Thank you so much. I just wanted to share that because I don't talk a lot about the books. My next book is this one. It's called Moonflow. I don't know what it's about, but it's written by a person named Bitter Corella. I like the cover. And so this is the next book in the horror novel book club. If you'd like to read along with me, I think that'd be pretty cool. I figured I'd share that on the show in case somebody else wants to check it out. MAGA has no morals. No shit, MAGA has no morals. Haven't you checked it out? Sassy Bobs, you are slightly distorted. Turn on the mic down again and you'll be perfect. Okay, Sassy B Coops, mic volume is down. The gain is down. MAGA can't read. Adjust the sound. My God, I've been adjusting the sound the whole time I've been on today. I've been adjusting the sound the whole time I've been here today, and I don't know what is the problem. I'm sorry. I don't know why we're having a problem today with sound. I didn't change anything with the sound, so I don't know why this is happening. Test, 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 test. I mean, I could change the different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. I like English mysteries from the 20s and 30s and 40s, Dashiell Hammett kind of thing. Oh, I read a lot of that type of stuff, Dashiell Hammett, when I was a kid. Well, I was in college. I read a lot of that type of thing. It was probably The Gain the whole time. You think it was The Gain the whole time? I don't know how we are parallelish. How's it sounding? All right. Ooh, that's nice. I like that. Ooh, that's nice. I like it. If you think it's nice, then it's nice. We're going to do that. I just turned down my mic, and now you're okay. Nice, Robert Simmons. I like to hear it. Sassy B Coop says we're ready to rock. Are we ready to rock and roll? Awesome. Thank you so much for priming the pump there, Sassy B Coops. Sabby Coops. Sabby Coops. Thank you, Sabby Coops. You're a wonderful human being. Thank you for supporting independent media on the #1 news reaction show on YouTube, Skyjack Morgan. All right, now listen. A lot has gone on since we last saw each other. A lot has happened. We have but you know, I really want to talk about Afro Man. Afro Man, we've been following this show, and I want to say Afro Man, he got his, you know, Afro Man likes tall cans, you know, I was going to go to court, and then I got high. Listen, he was minding his own business, and then all of a sudden, the cops came into his house, and they ransacked the place. They found nothing. They said that he had kidnapped people. There was no kidnapping going on. They said that he had a bunch of drugs, but of course, you know, okay, they're looking for drugs. They didn't find any drugs, but they broke the door. They ransacked his house. They stole his money. And they took money out of his apartment, and it's all on camera because he had security footage. And now he's suing the police, which I think is great. Let's sue the police.
Sided with the rapper Afro Man in the civil lawsuit filed against him by Adams County deputies. WCPO 90's reporter Jay Shakur is live outside the courthouse tonight. This verdict, Jay, was read right about 30 minutes ago, and you spoke to Afro Man as he was leaving. What's his reaction?
That's right. Afro Man had a very emotional reaction. The jury, as you mentioned, siding with the rapper Afro Man, whose real name is Joseph Foreman, in this case. Here's video.
It's funny. Only Patriots with Lindsay, best tuber. It's funny. Only Patriots. I noticed that a lot of people that watch my show also watch Only Patriots. I think that's kind of funny. You like that show? Only Patriots?
From inside the courtroom as this case.
It's a little low energy for me. It's a little low energy over there, but I think she's great. She's great. Watch her. You probably like her.
Went on. During closing arguments, the attorney representing the deputies in this case claimed Afro Man intentionally lied about and defamed the deputies in his songs, but Afro Man's attorneys maintained throughout this trial it is his right to say what he wants.
There's the cops stealing money out of his coat pockets, so the warrant was for drugs and kidnapping victims. Are you going to find kidnapping victims in coat pockets?
To say this goes back to 2022 when Afro Man's home was raided.
How about in his CDs? You're going to find hundreds of kilos of drugs and kidnapping victims in CD cases?
Following search warrants related to possession and trafficking in drugs and
I gotta say, like, I'm pretty stoked that Afro Man still has a CD collection. Am I right? Like, I remember having Afro Man on CD. I had him on CD, and it was great. Yeah, the cops took $400. I think they stole more, but they kept $400. They never returned it. It's pretty nasty. And then they sued him back, saying that he's not allowed to rap about what happened to him.
Kidnapping. Though he was never charged, the attorneys for the deputies suing say Afro Man used security video from the raid on his home and put it.
It's his video camera. These goddamn cops, they go into your house, they take your shit and your cameras, catch them doing it, and they're like, you can't use that footage. You're in my house. What do you mean I can't use that footage? You can't use that footage? Yeah, $5,000 was stolen. They returned it all except for $400, and they can all go rot in hell by this whole thing. You can't use the security footage that you took of cops breaking into your house. How dare you?
In a music video using deputies'
Look at that.
Without permission. Again, this jury in Adams County finding he did not defame those deputies. Here's Afro Man speaking directly after that verdict.
They put themselves in the footage, and then they killed the cameras. And then they killed the cameras while they were in there. That's the other thing. How dare you kill the cameras? What do you mean? This is my house. You fucking... I think they broke the Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. I think they broke all the goddamn amendments.
I didn't win. America won.
I love this with his suit. Come on, with the American flag suit. Are you kidding me?
America still has freedom of speech. It's still for the people, by the people.
By the people.
Afro-Man becoming emotional there as he says this fight was bigger than him. It was about free speech and what he describes as corruption in this sheriff's department. I spoke to one supporter who came all the way from Dallas. I have more on that and more reaction from...
I think it's great. Way to go, Afro-Man. Afro-Man, who would think? I thought Afro-Man was irrelevant at this point, and I love the fact that he came out on top here. Those cops... Those dirty, filthy, fuzzy cops. You can't trust them, man. You think you could trust them in a small town? You can't. They had a warrant for kidnapping victims and large sums of cash and money. They found none of that. And yet they still ransacked his house. They didn't pay for his door. I love the other thing. He wrote this song. I wrote this song to pay for my door. And I think you should watch that. You should go to Afro-Man's... because the song is funny, and you could see the song, the whole music video is just the cops going through his house, and it's nice. I like it. Keep going, Afro-Man.
Some fired up members of the Democratic...
Godspeed, Afro-Man. Now, you probably have heard that Pam Bondi didn't want to answer any questions again. Pam Bondi, she's been subpoenaed, man. She's supposed to answer questions about, the Epstein files, because... our government is involved in a horrible cover-up of the Epstein files, of the disgusting crimes against children. The billionaires always are taking our children and using them, buying and selling them, or sending them off to war, whatever they can do. Whatever they can do to get their return on their investment, because your children, after all, are the product of their nation, and their nation is, they could do with what they want with it. They don't have to ask you. You worms, you little worms, Americans, you little worms, you think you have a say? You think your children are yours? They belong to the Epstein class. They belong to the billionaires. But don't worry, it's the immigrants' fault, though, trust. It's the immigrants' fault that the Epstein class is buying and selling your children.
On the House Oversight Committee are speaking now after listening to Attorney General Bondi talking about the Epstein files. Let's listen in.
To our lawful subpoena in a deposition. So instead I asked Chairman Comer if he would compel her to come to our deposition. If she did not come, would he force her to, or if he would move for contempt hearings as he did for other people who did not respond to our subpoena. Instead of answering as an adult, he said that I was bitching, which is, again, something that would not be allowed if we were operating under the rules of this committee, because engaging in personalities is actually something that we are not able to do. If C-SPAN and the public were there, I'd imagine that he would not act that way. Neither here nor there, we expected AG Bondi to be adversarial, we expected her to be confrontational, and we expected her to not offer us much information. But that's...
Speed up faster. I mean, it's at 1.5 speed, Brad Pitbull. Is it too fast for you? It's at 1.5 speed. I can't watch this shit at 1 speed, man. These people talk too slow, and I got a lot of news I got to get to. We can't... This is a quick-paced show. You got to put on your critical thinking cap. Don't worry. I'll stop it when they say something smart.
Why I introduce impeachment articles. Because she has already been obstructing justice. She has already weaponized the DOJ. She has already ended investigations into Trump and his allies. She has used this role essentially as one to help the president. She does not answer to the president. The DOJ does not have the right or the privilege of withholding information from an active investigation, ignoring the laws of our land, which the Epstein Transparency Act is, with our...
Hey, that's it. Ignore the laws of our land. I thought that this was the Law and Order Party. What happened? What happened to the Law and Order Party? All this time, I thought the Law and Order Party had our interests at heart. What happened? What do you think went down? I just don't know. Just can't think of it.
subpoena from last July is, and the oversight Dems will continue to press for accountability. We'll continue to press for justice for survivors while also keeping them centered in this. So at the end of the day, we are still here seeking answers for women, for girls, and for the American public who has demanded justice, who have demanded answers to this. And whether or not they will pretend that the documents that they've given us is enough, we already know that they have not complied. And we are asking other people to make sure that we do not let them off the hook right now. So we look forward to her on the record deposition with our committee in response to our lawful subpoena.
I'll say a few more things and I'm open for questions, and if anyone wants to answer the questions. So just as a review, I think it's very important. This fake hearing, we found out about it yesterday with no time to prepare, with no format given to us. We had no idea what the even format was going to be until just an hour before.
So this is the Democrats have just walked out, is why they're all hot and bothered and talking all fast. They're like, oh, they got up and they walked out because they kept asking her, are you going to show up to the subpoena? Are you going to show up? Are you going to show up? Are you going to show up? And of course she wouldn't answer the question. She wouldn't answer, and James Comer, that Republican hack, that magger, that dirty little magger, he dismissed all the obstruction charges. He said basically that you could do whatever you want, Madam Secretary, which means that the law of the land doesn't matter. The law doesn't matter. That's it. Trump can't let all the files out. Of course not. Of course not. You know what's in that file. You know what's in those files. We all know what's in those files. I don't know why we're busy. You know, I watch people, like someone mentioned that Only Patriot and all that. These MAGA just simps. And I watch them and I'm like, you know what's in the files. And now you're not going to talk about it because you know what's in it. This whole time you wanted them out. And now that they're out and they're coming out, you don't want all of them now. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, shit, let's not open these. You guys are like the ones you're like, oh, yeah, you open the carton of milk, and you're like, close that up and put it back in the fridge. Don't put it back in the fridge. You got to pour the rotten milk out so that we can all see it. Bastards. Meanwhile, working class children are bought and sold by the lazy class.
Before this kind of fake hearing that was set up. And it was clear from the minute it started that the Attorney General is trying to evade and not attend.
I love, Only Patriots with Lindsay. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to watch some old hag smoking cigarettes and talking about how much she loves Trump cock, I mean, yeah, go for it. Watch that shit.
The mandated subpoena that is put in place. We asked her that question. Multiple members asked her the question. She would not respond. She said she'll continue to follow the law. That is not a response. She has a subpoena in place by Chairman Comer. If there's any questions, we'll take those now.
So aside from the questions about the deposition, what else have you guys been asking her about? What else has the conversation been about? Because I know you also had a lot of questions.
I'm going to let Congressman Schnoor.
Yeah. And I support everything that's been said by my colleagues.
Yeah, no kidding. These... Everything, whatever he said. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the MAGA simps say there's no evidence Trump did anything wrong in the files. Yeah, they didn't do anything wrong. Didn't do anything wrong. Nothing at all. Oh, yeah, the Democrats buried the, it's the Democrats who did it. That's why they're all out here frothy. They're all out here frothy as horses on a hot day.
Remember, our desire to get the Attorney General and Todd Blanche under oath is because we've been faced with lies from the very beginning. Go back to February 21st, 2000.
Are you talking about Walter Brimley? Immortal Coil thinks that let's bring back Walter Brimley. You know what's funny about Walter Brimley? I saw this thing about him. He was in his 40s when they filmed Cocoon. Just a fun little thing. It's about senior citizens, that movie, and he was in his 40s. Walter Brimley.
2025. Pam Bondi told us and told the public that the Epstein file client list was on her desk. But then we found out that was a lie. Then she told us that on July 25th, 2025, she said there's no need for any more disclosure on any of these Epstein files. Then we found out later there's 6 million documents. They give us 3 million of those, and now we find that we can't get access to a lot of that information because it's so heavily redacted. And then finally, with much pressure from the court.
We're going to take a quick break from covering that press conference to bring in Democratic Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury of New Mexico, who serves on the House Oversight Committee. So, Congresswoman, your fellow Democrats seem pretty fired up. What happened behind closed doors?
Yeah, well, I just walked out of the briefing room, and what is absolutely clear is that Pam Bondi has no intention of complying with the law and the subpoena that we've issued for her to be deposed under oath in front of the committee. In fact, what appears to have happened is that she and Todd Blanche volunteered to come brief the committee, and so we walked in today ready to hear information that they would provide to us about what's going on with the Epstein File Transparency Act, and basically they said, we've released what we're going to release, and now you can ask me questions. And there was...
We release what we're going to release, and we're not going to follow the law. Okay, so you're breaking the law. Put her in jail. Lock her up. Lock her up. She's actively committing a crime. And yet everyone's okay with that. We're all right with this, right? Everyone's cool with it? Okay, we're just going to keep going then. The Donald wears diapers because he likes it up the butt, and he blew me when I was 14 years old. I'm in the Epstein files. My name is Bubba. They named the horse after me. And, we're just going to allow it. We're going to allow them to continue to buy and sell immigrant children, working class children. When they're done with their snuff films, bury the bodies out back in New Mexico and dissolve their bones with sulfuric acid. Perfect. Let's keep doing it, man. Let's keep burying those kids' bodies out in Juarez and out in the deserts outside of El Paso. Let's do that. Hey, man, that's what America's all about. Killing people in the desert. Awesome. Oh, killing people in the desert. You see what I did there? So embarrassing.
We see those attacks show up almost immediately in the prices people pay here at the pump. Overnight, prices rising another 5 cents. The nationwide average now $3.90 a gallon. Since this war began, prices have jumped 96 cents, and they are now at their highest level since 2022. That's when they hit $5 a gallon.
Your gas are gonna be lower than ever! Lower than ever, trust me. You're gonna love the low. The low, you're gonna be tired of winning, you're gonna be tired of winning. They're like, oh, Mr. Trump, why are we winning so much? Stop it, Mr. Trump.
Remember at the State of the Union address?
Stop it, Mr. Trump. You're winning too much.
This is what This is winning. This is what winning looks like to MAGA. Everyone getting raped. MAGA's not happy until everybody gets raped. Don't forget, they're not just raping little girls on Epstein Island. MAGA's raping all of us. Look at this. Now you get to get raped too. They're like, hey, you want to know what it feels like? Here you go. Hey, what, you got a problem with getting raped? How about we rape you? Here we are.
Meantime, diesel prices, that is the lifeblood of the American economy. It fuels shipping, trains, semi-trucks, hauling products, and of course farmers use this fuel as well. It is now $5.05 a gallon. The past 2 weeks have brought the biggest 2-week price increase in diesel on record, and it all comes down to oil, which is now $95 a barrel, in that range. Every $1 move in oil prices translates to about a 2 to 3 cent move higher at the pump. If sustained, this would mean that households are adding about $1,000 or more to their costs over the course of a year. And
Nice little tax for Israel. There you go. Nice little Israel tax for you. Another $1,000 in the pockets of Israel. Hey, that's what it costs to do war in the Middle East, boys. Never fight uphill, my boys. Remember when Donald Trump said that? Never fight uphill, my boys. Never fight uphill. You're fighting uphill. You're fighting uphill.
If you think about this is part of everything. Heating costs, the cost of an Uber, the cost of food, it ripples through the entire economy, Robin.
Many people are thinking about that. You're right, Rebecca. Thank you.
Senator Mellon. Ooh. You've paid $5-6 of gas many times in life before MAGA ever showed up. That's true. You're right. Sometimes you got to pay more for gas. You know why? Because the Republicans can't stop bombing the Middle East. They constantly do this. We never want to get involved in foreign wars, and guess what happens? Every time a Republican's in office, they start wars overseas, especially the Middle East. They love starting wars in the Middle East. They can't handle it. It's just like the Crusades, man. If you read Shakespeare, it's almost a joke. Every time a new king, you start a new play, you're like, oh, let's see what Henry V is gonna off to the Orient. What's Henry II? What's Richard II going to do? Oh, we're going back to the Middle East. Okay, great. What's Henry IV going to? Middle East. It's always the Middle East. It's every single time we get a new king, we go to the Middle East because these asshole Republicans think they're kings. They can't handle the allure of the Middle East. It's so rich in oil and gold. Oh my God. And a bunch of brown people just waiting to be enslaved. They're practically gagging for it. Look what they're wearing. They're begging to be enslaved. I mean, if they didn't want to be enslaved, then why are they dressed like that? Why were they born brown if they didn't want to be slaves? Says the Republican. And now MAGA, you're right. MAGA is just the latest iteration, just the latest cancer of Republicans. They're far worse. I mean, at least the Republicans of yore weren't shooting American citizens in the street for protesting. I mean, at least I could say that about George W. Bush. I can't say many nice things about the guy, but hey, I don't remember him actually condoning blowing people away, shooting them in the head and face because they were protesting. I don't remember that. There were bad things, like they would spray, like they would do they'd spray tear gas and stuff, but shooting people, nah. Shooting priests in the head with pepper balls, nah. That shit didn't happen. But now MAGA does that in our streets. Again, MAGA's like, oh, you got a problem us raping other countries and raping your girls and raping whoever well, how about this? Bend over. Wait till you find out what's next for you.
You have made several public statements suggesting that you were involved in special security forces or combat operations overseas.
Ooh, my side. I don't have a side. I'm not one of you red versus blue dumb shits arguing between Coke and Diet Coke while Mr. Coca-Cola takes all the money. But let me tell you, who's shooting people in the street? ICE. They've been involved in over 30 shootings now. 30 shootings. The only ICE officer who's been shot is an ICE officer who was shot, an ICE agent that got shot by another ICE agent. So nobody's shooting ICE agents. Over 40 now. 40 that they are aware of have been killed by ICE, but zero ICE agents have been killed. The bloodiest year in ICE history was 2025. And you're like, well, who's shooting people in the street? Derp, 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 derp. I guess you haven't paid attention, huh? Haven't paid much attention about all the civilians being killed at home and abroad, but you're okay with that. And you want to talk about Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk was shot by a magger. He was raised, Tyler Robinson, you could find out what you want all about him, say whatever you want. He was not a trans person. He might have had a trans lover, but hey, so did Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was addicted to trans porn, so before you throw around the trans thing as a pejorative, you could take that and shove it up your trans ass, because Charlie Kirk was really into trans porn. He said it over and over again. He had a porn addiction, that it's not gay if you don't do it, that he just loved watching. Yeah. Come on. Anyway, that guy, Tyler Robinson, raised in a MAGA household. His whole family was MAGA. His grandma was MAGA. He was all into MAGA throughout the pandemic. And imagine being stuck in a house full of MAGers during the pandemic, like Borat in that weird cabin that he got locked into with the MAGers, with the QAnon people. Holy shit. That sounds like a horror novel. That sounds like a horror novel. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic's over and everyone's going back to normal, right? Nah, not everyone's going back to normal. Some people are going to be permanently damaged from being locked in a house with their MAGA relatives for the whole time. The guy was raised by MAGA. He was radicalized by MAGA. He was taught how to shoot by MAGA. And then when he shoots Charlie Kirk, you're like, he's not one of us. Yes, he is. He's one of yours. He's MAGA. He's MAGA. And so was Tom Crooks, which, who knows? I mean, the ear grew back, so I don't even know what's going on there. But that kid was MAGA too. So funny how all these MAGers keep waking up. Even that guy, Ryan, what's his name? The one on the golf course. He was MAGA. He was MAGA. He was pissed off about the Ukraine because Donald Trump flip-flopped on Ukraine, and not everyone's able to flip-flop back and forth all the time. You know, Donald Trump, today he loves Vladimir Putin, tomorrow he hates Vladimir Putin, then he loves Zelensky, then he hates Zelensky. You don't know what the hell is going on in this weird dementia-addled Swiss cheese brain and Donald Trump's cranium. And so he flip-flops back and forth. He's basically just like a flaccid penis in the wind because, he can't get it up. He's just letting it flop around. And all the MAGA, they're like, wait, where do I put my mouth? Where do I put my mouth? But meanwhile, not everyone's able to do it. And so that dude couldn't follow him on the Ukraine flip-flop, and he tried to kill him on the golf course. Another MAGger. What is it with you guys? It's always you MAGgers. Every single time. Trying to kill your own. MAGger taught Tyler Robinson how to shoot. MAGA raised Tyler Robinson. He was only 22 years old. His whole life was spent with MAGers. He was in a MAGer state. He was on a campus that had open carry. In Utah, you're allowed to carry guns and walk around with them on that campus. The dude was red through and through, completely MAGer. And now you're like, not one of ours, yeah.
2023, you said in a Senate Republican conference podcast, and I say, I'll quote, "There's another side of my bio that I don't ever talk about.
Thanks for the coffee,
nor
everybody.
will I. I had to go do something overseas." On March 2nd of this year, you told Fox News interview, quote, "War is ugly. It smells bad. If anybody has ever been there and been able to smell the war that's happening around you and taste it and feel it in your nostrils and hear it, it's something you will never forget." On March 3rd, in a podcast interview, you stated, quote, "I did special assignments outside of DOD, now DOW. I never wore the uniform or the flag on my shoulder, but I might have been in the same area." Your statements in public interviews and your responses to the committee are, quite frankly, confusing, and they are inconsistent. And I'd like you to clear this up. You're under oath. We can clear it all up right now. And first, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record my letter to you on March 11th and your addendum to the committee of March 12th regarding any overseas special assignments.
Without objection.
So my question for you, sir, is before your time in Congress, other than on vacations with your family, have you ever traveled to a foreign country?
No.
You've never traveled to a foreign country?
Outside of vacation or mission work? No.
This little guy with no bachelor's degree thinks he's going to be Department of Homeland Security boss, and he got some lies he's got to deal with. Everyone's talking about how, he wanted to have a duel with Rand Paul and shit, and like the Teamsters guy. And yeah, that's kind of fun because get up your butt. No, you put it up your butt. I'm going to put it up my butt. It's a very strange interaction. Consenting adults, we're consenting adults. We could do it with our butts. It's weird that they're always obsessed with their butts. You get your butt up. I'm going to stick my butt up into your butt. We could poop back and forth forever. But honestly, I think this is far more interesting. He claims to have gone to the Middle East and done things like military stuff, and he knows the smell of war, and he never wore an American flag, but he knows because he was on secret missions of battle in the Middle East. Do you believe him?
Okay. Have you, your FBI report does show some travel. I think it was to Georgia and Azerbaijan. You marked that was not for tourists.
Are you referring to August of 2021 when we went to go get the Americans out of Afghanistan?
I'm just
That's
saying.
what that travel was for, which
Okay.
we did
So
clarify that.
you have traveled. So you've traveled to Azerbaijan and Georgia. That was in your FBI report, although you just said you've never traveled.
Sir, I thought you were referring to a different time, but in 2021, it was well done.
I thought you was referring. Oh my God, this guy's taken Oklahoma back 50 years. Is this what people like Oklahoma? This is the best of Oklahoma. Some uneducated wretch. Now, what was we getting that education done? We was getting real educated over there with the ding dang do. Oh my God, this guy's got ding dang do written all over his face. This Mark Wayne. God damn it. I'm sorry. I love Oklahoma, man. I spent a lot of time in Oklahoma. I've been to Elk City. I've been to Tulsa. I love Oklahoma. I've been to that Woody Guthrie Museum over there. Oklahoma's great. It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. But man, that was the mission. The mission. Outside of the mission, we're going to get the mission. We'll get some egamicated. We'll get egamicated. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Skyjack Morgan, if you're just tuning in, and this is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube, Morning Sky, please go ahead and drop a like and a subscribe. And if you aren't a channel member, Sky City Rebels get extra exclusive service and extra exclusive attention in the chat because your name turns green for me. Plus, If Thomas Crooks was MAGA, then Kyle Rittenhouse was Antifa. Well, you'll never be able to ask Thomas Crooks. And by the way, I don't believe Thomas Crooks. I think Thomas Crooks was a sucker who got shot for nothing because no one seems to know. For some reason, I've never seen a picture of the body of the person who got shot there. How come that's never been released? Everything on the internet. I've seen Charlie Kirk get shot from so many different angles, but for some reason, people are just cheering while there's a guy bleeding out in the bleachers over there in Butler, Pennsylvania. Come on. The ear growing back. Come on. Fight. Come on.
Documented. In fact, it was all over the news, and I actually did say that, and we put that down on the report. But that was us, which was all over the news.
Political alignment. Anarchism, anti-authoritarian anarchism. Jamie Lynn Turner, what is your political alignment? I refuse to align. Become a rebel.
Trying to go with a extremely experienced team.
I've got other questions, thank you. But so you have traveled overseas, despite your previous comment.
Let me get my shoes.
Excuse me.
My shoes, though.
Or otherwise involved.
The guy's obsessed with shoes, man. The shoe thing makes so much more sense now. Now he's going around and asking people their shoe sizes. Have you heard about that? Like, he went up to Marco Rubio and he's like,
You could tell a lot by a man's shoe size, Marco. Little Marco Rubio, how big are your shoes?
And Marco Rubio told him 11 and a half, and he's like,
I love Florsheim's shoes. I'm going to get you a pair of shoes, Marco.
And so we got Marco a pair of shoes. And of course, if you look at the photos, they're like clown shoes. They're far too big for him. Shit, I wear size 12. Marco Rubio is like this tall on me. Marco Rubio is not wearing 11 and a half. Shit, from time to time, I could fit into an 11 and a half. Not usually, because my feet are so fucking... I got 12s. Marco Rubio's this tall. He's not an 11 and a half. He's walking around in clown shoes. Imagine him at the airport. He's got to take off his shoes, and he's like, here you go. They're all weirdly big.
Do you like your shoes? Oh, yeah, I want to make my shoes. I got a lot of shoes.
Jamie Lynn Turner, subscribe. Thank you so much for being here, Jamie Lynn. Welcome to the show. Can I get some good member emojis, some good exclusive Sky City Rebel emojis in the chat to welcome Jamie Lynn Turner for subscribing? Thanks, Jamie Lynn. Jamie Lynn. I like your name, Jamie Lynn.
Jamie Lynn, now, Jamie Lynn, do you talk like this? Jamie Lynn, you done lost some 20-some pounds. Jamie Lynn.
Do you talk like that, Jamie Lynn? With a name like that, I bet you do. I love it. I'm just fooling. I'm just pulling your leg. Jamie Lynn.
Jamie Lynn, why don't we all go down to the Piggly Wiggly and let me see what you got?
Is it okay to say I absolutely hate the Orange Man? Yeah. I would say let's just hate fascism. But yes, I hate fascists. It's okay. It's like I hate fascism, but I also hate the leaders and the usherers and the people who bring fascism to the fore. Like, it's okay to hate Hitler and Mussolini, but we should hate the system that created Hitler and Mussolini, shouldn't we? That's all.
Involved with the Department of Defense, the State Department, or other U.S. agency or contractor for any of those departments?
No. And Senator, I think there's a misunderstanding here that I could clear up if you want me to clear up for you.
Please.
Okay, so which this is official trip, and it is classified.
Classified.
In 2015, I was asked to train with a very small contingency and go to a certain area, which was scheduled for 2016. During that time, I was asked to had to meet certain training qualifications.
Wow, Mark Wayne was in the A-team, a crack team of commandos, promptly escaped from a military blockade. How's that go? In 1975, a crack commando team was committed of a crime that they didn't commit. They promptly escaped from a maximum security military blockade and now survive as soldiers of fortune in the Los Angeles underground. If you need help, and if you can find them, maybe you can call.
Certain qualifications, had to go through SEER training.
The A-team, it's the A-team.
The SEER training was absolutely awful. And I've spoken general about my experiences, but I've never spoke specifically on details, on dates, or on the mission. And that was official, and there was nothing in the report to the committee. Actually, it said you do not have to claim any official trips. And like I said, that was an official trip that is classified.
This is an official trip while you were a member of Congress?
Yes. 2015, 2016, I was a member of Congress. Some of it may be public, but it would be very small. Most of it, because of my recollection, which we're going back 10 years, I think there's only 4 people read in on it.
He was a congressman. What was he? He was a congressman. It's ludicrous. Trust me, it's classified. I was in the fog of war. I was in the shit. You were a congressman.
So where was that trip?
I just said it's classified, sir.
It's classified. So the letter that we sent to you said that we need to have information of any of these activities.
It said not official trips. Your paperwork was very clear, excluding any official trips. This was an official trip as a member.
Well, we have more questions we're going to have to ask. In the FBI report, I asked, is there anything in that report that is classified, that you are involved in any kind of classified operation at all, and there's none.
It was
the FBI
also
report-
excluding.
There is not. There is not a classified operation that this man was a part of. That's a lie. No, it's classified. I was in Azerbaijan in the shit. I was killing the Sandys. I was really in there. I was really going at it. This is what we believe? Yeah, what was we ranked in education? What was we ranked in what was we ranked? He just said it too. You was the person, you was the guy who did the thing with the other thing. Oh my God.
That excluding official duties. It says that. And you guys have the paperwork in front of you, and it always says excluding official duties. We had this committee come to us and ask the same questions. We talked about doing mission work. We talked about doing mentorship, but they said official duties that was in your official capacity does not have to be talked about.
So where did you smell war?
Sir, I just said that this was classified, and the dates.
How come the FBI says you were never classified? Nothing that you've ever done is classified. Oh, trust me, it's classified. Just you saying it doesn't make it classified. That's like an official thing, buddy. Mark Wayne. Sky B, controversial. Tell us about when you were a victim of Trump. I told you when I was a victim of Trump. It's in the Epstein files. My name is Bubba in the Epstein files. You can look it up. Donald Trump. I was 14 years old, and Donald Trump blew me, and then they named the horse after me. For obvious reasons. G-Max. Ghislaine Maxwell, she named her horse after me. I regret it, but I needed the money. You know, working class kids, we got to do what we have to survive. And when the billionaires, they want to use you, you say yes, because what other options do you have in America? How do you make ends meet in America without sucking up and selling your body to the billionaires? That's the only way to do it. You sell your bodies to billionaires. You could go work at McDonald's. You could go work at any fast food place, I guess. You can go clean gutters. You could dig ditches. You could build stuff for the billionaires. You can hammer nails. You could do all sorts of stuff, or you can let Donald Trump blow you. You know?
Locations and admission, I've never spoke specifically details about.
Well, we can get that information.
That's fine.
Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome to get it.
We will want to find out more information
That's
about that.
perfectly okay,
It's important
Senator.
to have the truth here, and that you're portraying yourself in a truthful way.
Sir, I'm not portraying myself in any way other than you're asking the question. I said I would try to clear it up for you.
We'll continue to work on that.
Thank you.
After DH.
Yeah, continue to work on that there, Marky Waney.
U.S. officers shot and killed 2 American citizens this past January. You joined top administrative officials in publicly blaming and disparaging the victims. Following the killing of Renee Good, Secretary Noem called her a domestic terrorist. You, sir, you called Alex Preddy, quote, a deranged individual that came in to cause max damage. Could we expect those kinds of quick responses if you are confirmed as secretary? Would you be basically, well, you responded as Secretary Noem. Are we going to just expect that same behavior all over again?
No, Senator. I have a deep amount of respect for you. We've had our differences, but I do respect you.
Hey.
I think I said this privately when we had a conversation.
Second. Hold one cotton picking minute. I'm afraid of real work. You're saying it's not real work to get blown by Donald Trump? How dare you? That's real work. I mean, yesterday there was someone in my chat saying the little girls on Epstein Island, they were paid, and so that makes it okay. That some of them got paid, so it makes it the whole thing okay, and Donald Trump's not guilty because he paid those girls. So, what do you mean it's not real work? What do you mean it's not real work? You don't think getting blown by Donald Trump isn't real work? That's crazy. You're crazy. How dare you? How dare you? You know, all of us try to make a living the best we can. This is all we have. You know, I was born. This is all I could do. All I ever had to do. Bud Russell, just because you're a fool. Most of my life, I've worked physical. I've done lots of physical labor. My first job, I was 13 years old, and I dug ditches in the Las Vegas and Victorville deserts because my father was a builder. He built strip malls and shopping centers. So, Bud Russell, you can go see. You could blow me too. You could be just like Donald Trump. I know you love Donald Trump, and you could be just like Donald Trump, and you could suck this dick just like he did, and you could call me Bubba, and you could name your horse after me too. I know. It's hard. It's tough because you might choke. You're going to choke. Your eyes are going to water, bud. But you can suck a whole bowl of dicks, buddy boy.
conversation. Those words probably should have been retracted. I shouldn't have said that, and Secretary, I wouldn't. The investigation is ongoing, and there is, like I said, there's sometimes going to make a mistake, and I own it. That one, I went out there too fast. I was responding immediately without the facts. That's my fault. That won't happen, Secretary.
So you regret that statement?
I already said that, yes, sir.
Would you want to apologize to the family of Alex Preddy?
Well, sir, I just said I regret those statements.
You regret saying that Alex Preddy deserved to die, but you still think that Renee Good deserved to die. Well, hey, at least, you know, that's 50% Mark Wayne. Good old Mark Wayne. Of course, the man who with the gun, he's okay in Mark Wayne's book, but a woman outside the kitchen, a lesbian woman, not in a kitchen... No sirree, Bobski. Mark Wayne just can't stomach that shit. How dare a woman leave the house and speak her mind and want to protect her neighbors? How dare you, Renee Good? Mark Wayne can't stomach that type of behavior from a woman. Of all people. In Oklahoma, our women don't do that.
All right, switching gears now, Democrats facing the very real possibility of an historic upset in California as a new poll finds two Republican candidates leading in California's gubernatorial primary. Our next guest is at the top of that poll, says there's a revolution brewing in California.
There's a revolution brewing in California? I thought there was a revolution brewing all over America. I thought there was a revolution brewing in the hearts of every American. I thought you Americans were going to open your eyes and stop being a country of simps and hall monitors and snitches and losers and bootlickers. America, stand up. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Stand for liberty and freedom again. Be a revolutionary. Be a resistor. Come on, America. Where's your revolutionary spirit? Where's your rebellious spirit, America? Come on, man. Thank you so much, Parallelas. You're the best. Thank you so much. Let me see here. Where's my... Here we go. Parallelas. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Parallelas. You're incredible. I never had one lesson on the stylophone, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were able to hear it. I hope you're feeling nasty today because it's Thursday and it's a beautiful day. JDC, don't you know that Sky City Rebels get a shitload of exclusive content, including private stream right after this one. We have a secret poetry club just for you so we could celebrate humanity. We do a monthly guitar recital. This month I play my blue guitar. I play my blue guitar and I'll play the songs that I like from that one guy, the cute one, the Beatles guy, that cute Beatle, the one that's the cute one in the Beatles. You know who I'm talking about. The cute one, the Beatles. That's it. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. My name is Skyjack Morgan. If you're already tuning in, you're just tuning in, this is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. Let's get dirty. Oh my God, Sayard Yan, spreading the news. Let's do it. Thank you so much. That's a xylophone. I never had one lesson, but I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much to Sayard Yan, Black Belt member. You make the world turn. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Keep it going. Stay strong. Keep doing it. Hold on a second. So good can protect a convicted criminal. A convicted criminal? You sucker. You stupid sucker. You are such a stupid sucker if you think convicted criminals are who the ICE agents are after. It's funny because over 80% of the people who are in ICE custody have never committed a crime. How weird. Convicted criminals, you're just an imbecile. Thank you so much for playing. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. It doesn't look like everybody's got their critical thinking cap on. You gotta put that critical thinking cap on. It goes right here on your noggin. But you gotta take off the pedophile cap first. You gotta take off that red chomo cap, that pedo cap, that pedophile Elmer Fudd cap that makes you look like it's child hunting season. You got to take that off. It's not children hunting season. Oh, I'm hunting children. You got to take that off to put on the critical thinking cap. You got to take off the red one. Okay? And then you got to question authority like a big boy. Grow the fuck up, put your big boy pants on, put your critical thinking cap on, and start questioning authority and challenge the status quo. Thank you so much.
California gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton joins me now. Steve, great to see you as always. You are our former colleague, so obviously we really like you. But how the heck are you, a conservative, leading the polls in such a liberal state like California?
Leading the polls?
Well, the answer to that question is a very simple 4-letter word.
This guy keeps on trying to become California governor. Ain't gonna happen, you English fuck.
It's called MUGA, and it stands not for Make America Great Again, like the president would say, but the guy who's obviously on a presidential campaign right now across the country, Gavin Newsom, MUGA stands for Most Useless Governor in America. And that's Gavin Newsom, because California has the worst results of any state in America.
Worst results? California just again became the 4th richest country in the world under Gavin Newsom. That's weird. California is the 4th largest economy in the world. It used to be the 5th. And Gavin Newsom's the bad guy? Oh, gee whiz. I mean, I hate Gavin Newsom, but come on. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie. Gavin Newsom's the worst person who ever existed for California. California's doing pretty good, considering that everything else in America sucks and that gas is so high and the grocery bills are so high. I mean, considering all that, California's pretty good. You know why? It's that weather, baby. It's that weather. It's the weather.
We have the highest poverty rate, the highest unemployment rate, the highest cost of living, highest gas prices, highest cost for everything, insurance, housing, water, rent, you name it, car registration, everything costs a fortune. You've got crime.
Everything costs a fortune. Everything costs a fortune. And you know what? You know what, Mr. Hilton? It's worth every penny. You know why? Because we don't want to live in Oklahoma, okay, buddy? We don't want to live in Oklahoma with Mark Wayne, okay? We don't want to live in Oklahoma with the ding-dang-doos and the dingleberries and the huckleberry. We don't want to do all that. We love it in California. We like it out here. It is expensive. I got to get online and beg people for fucking money every day. Trust me, I know. I'm living so close to the hills. Shit's expensive. But you know what? I've lived in 3 different states. I lived out in Virginia with those cicada bugs. Are you kidding me? They got those cicada bugs. Ugh, they're falling out of the trees every few years. Those cicada bugs, they make all that racket. Ugh, all the tornadoes and shit down south into almost all 50 states. And let me tell you, California, the rest of America, you're a bunch of suckers. Sorry.
You've got homelessness, the wildfire disaster, everything's a disaster. And so
wildfire disaster.
People are saying, we've had enough. We've had enough of this. We need change in California. And I've been traveling the state putting out a strong, positive alternative. $3 gas. Cut your electric bills in half. Your first $100,000 tax-free. No more free healthcare for illegal immigrants. A home you can afford to buy. I capture it in one word. Cal-affordable. That's my campaign. And people are really getting behind it. And it's great to see the energy and momentum that we've got.
But Steve, it's not just you. It's not just one Republican candidate.
Cal-affordable. I do like it. It's clever. But remember when Donald Trump won the presidency by promising affordability? And then when he became president, he acted like the word affordability is a word he never heard before. Like he said the word affordability hundreds of times during the campaign. As soon as he got elected, he's like, the Democrats just made up a new word. The Democrats just made up a whole new word. It's affordability. I never heard such a word. It's a hoax. Affordability. Have you ever heard about affordability? Like, what the hell? This guy acts like the word affordability is a brand new word, and now all these other maggers are like, oh, yeah, we're Cal-affordable. That's what we're going to call it.
Candidate at the top of the ticket. There's 2, and admittedly, you are beating Chad Bianco 17-16 in this latest poll. But look at the 2 people behind you 2. Eric Swalwell there at 13%. Katie Porter also at 13%. How much are these numbers also a rejection of all the candidates, namely Swalwell and Porter, that the Democrats are putting out there?
Yeah, there's another one. If you look at the Real Clear Politics average right now, I'm not sure the latest poll, but the numbers are going to be pretty much the same. You've got Katie Porter on 10, you've got Chad Bianco, and another one, Tom Steyer, the billionaire climate fanatic, on 11.
I know, the climate fanatic, that Tom Steyer. He's all over my feed now. Every time I turn on, I get this Tom Steyer guy. He talks a lot of sense, though. He's a billionaire, though. I don't like him. I'm probably not going to vote Democrat or Republican, but this guy, this Hilton dude, he can go eat a bowl of shit. I can't believe anybody's going to fall for this moron.
7%, Swalwell on 13, and I'm on 15.
Oh yes, what we need is someone from outside the country. It's so funny. Everyone talks about Zoran Mamdani being a foreigner, but not this asshole. This dude, at least Zoran Mamdani doesn't have an accent. This guy is like, oh yes, don't you know? Oh, you stupid Americans, you don't know how to run the biggest economy. You should hand over your biggest economy to someone who talks like this. No. You know what? I'll take 1,000,000 Zoran Mamdanis over one asshole with a British accent. Where is Steve Hilton from? I gotta make sure. He might not be British. He might be like a Kiwi or something. I think he's British though. Where was Steve Hilton born? London. Of course he was. He was born in London. Oi, governor. Oi, for king and country, isn't it? Let's make sure that, isn't that clever? Isn't it clever? I can't wait for a British person to tell us in California how we should do what's what and who's who, isn't it? Yes, indeed, absolutely. Shit, we gave it to Schwarzenegger. We did give it to Schwarzenegger. We did. Steve Hilton is a rich clown. Yeah, he is a clown, but it's so funny. Fox News has him on over and over again. The Fox News is always like, "You're about to win, Steve Hilton. How are you feeling? What are you going to do when you win?" Well, I think I was going to Disneyland, but I think what's preferable is that I'll have a spot of tea and a bit of fish and chips, shouldn't I? Perhaps a curry. Not too spicy, okay? Not too spicy. I can't stand American curry. I love going to London and having the curry. Fucking Steve Hilton. I'm sorry. I know we probably have some English people watching, and I love you. I lived in England. It's a beautiful place. I love London. It's great. I just don't want you as governor of my state. I'm racist against English people. You're great. I've got lots of great English friends. Some of my best friends are English. But I don't want you in my state running for governor. Especially if you haven't kicked that fucking annoying accent yet. I'm sorry. If you can't kick that accent yet, get the fuck out of California. You're not allowed to be governor, okay? At least Zoran Mamdani had the politesse to ditch his accent, you know? He talks like a New Yorker now, you know? Fake it. It's okay. A bleeding blighter, innit? Of course, let's have a bit of fish and chips. I didn't vote for Biden or Hillary, but I never tried to convince others not to. You okay? Look, man, Fox News should be Fox Newt. Fox News. Don't worry. Eventually they'll get sued to oblivion. You never know. It'd be great. But you can be FLOTUS. You can be FLOTUS, sure. Sure, you want to be First Lady of the United States? Sure, I don't care. You could do anything. I just don't want an Englishman as my governor. I don't know. That's a thing. You don't have any Americans that can do that job?
I stand here today speaking to you.
How about an American person could do? How about an English person could do this job? Can an English person be Secretary of Defense? Oh, I'm sorry, of War. War, Barbarella. It's war.
Not through filters, not through reporters, not through cable news spin. A dishonest and anti-Trump press will stop at nothing. We know this at this point. To downplay.
Polls mean shit, right? As Trump. Are you talking about the tent pole that Sasha Riley stuck up Trump's butt and that's why he shits his pants? Is that what you mean? Polls mean shit? That must be what you mean, right? The tent pole that he put up Trump's butt and that's why he shits his pants every day and has to wear diapers? Every time you feel bad about making fun of Donald Trump wearing diapers, always remember he's wearing diapers because he abused children. Just remember that. Because he likes ass play. Polls, yeah. Polls, double L. Sorry, I thought you meant polls like P-O-L-E-S, Master Nippon, Japanese master. Sorry, I thought you meant polls, P-O-L-E-S. Thank you. Sorry.
Progress, amplify every cost, and call into question every step. Sadly, TDS is in their DNA. They want President Trump.
It's in my DNA. Oh shit. Well, that's eugenicist joke. It's in my DNA that we should we should take all the people with TDS and put them in concentration camps and execute them. That's what we do with people with the bad DNA, right? I mean, that's what isn't that why we have the whole Taylor Sweeney joke? My jeans are blue. My jeans are blue. Jeans. You have good genes or bad genes, and you have Jewish genes, and you have white genes. You have Aryan genes, and you have black genes. My jeans are blue.
To fail. But you, the American people, know better. Yes, there are
Do you know better?
in front
American
of me,
people?
but they are not our audience today.
The audience aren't these reporters. No. The audience are the people.
It's you, the good, decent, patriotic American people. You, the hardworking, tax-paying, God-fearing American patriots. The media here, not all of it, but much of it, wants you to think, just 19 days into this conflict, that we're somehow spinning toward an endless abyss or a forever war or a quagmire. Nothing could be further from the truth.
California has all the pedophiles. What the heck? Is that why? Donald Trump's from New York City. He's from Queens. Wait a second. Queen? No, forget it. I'm not going to go down that road. No, California doesn't have all the... Hollywood is pedophiles? Come on now. Hollywood. I thought Hollywood was a bunch of gay guys. Everyone... What do you... Make up your mind. Make up your mind. You guys want to talk so much shit about California and Hollywood and all this. You guys are such losers. Oh, I don't like Hollywood because I'm not handsome enough to be living there. Oh, you guys are such little losers. I can't ever make it in California, so I'm going to stay here in bumfuck Arkansas. I'm going to live here in Arkansas. I'm going to live here in Arkansas on the outskirts of Little Rock. I saw their drones flying over Hegstad's house in Fort McNair. That's where I just did an archaeological survey. We drove by his and Rubio's house every day. Oh, you did? Interesting. I'm sure they got lots of drones. They got drones everywhere now. I wonder why. How will we know if there's a drone attack who did it? And will you believe the government when they say it was Iran or Cuba? They'll probably say it's Cuba, right? Because Iran were already at war. Now they're looking at an excuse to go to Cuba. Donald Trump says it would be a great honor. A lot of people, they want to go to Cuba. And I think it'd be a great honor. Nah. He's always got his little hands on his desk. He's always like, nah, I really want to go and go to Cuba. Can I go to Cuba, Daddy? Can I go to Cuba? Oh, you go. Fucking Jerry Lewis, geriatric weirdo.
Hear it from me, one of hundreds of thousands who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, who watched previous foolish politicians like Bush,
Foolish,
Obama, and Biden squander American credibility. This is not
squander American credibility. Holy shit!
Those wars.
What the? Those are the guys that squandered American. Bush, Biden, Obama, they're the guys that squandered American credibility?
President Trump knows better. Epic Fury is different. It's laser focused. It's decisive. Our objectives, given directly from our America First president, remain exactly what they were on day one. These are not the media's objectives, not Iran's objectives, not new objectives, our objectives. Unchanged, on target, and on plan. Destroy missiles, launchers, and Iran's defense.
Oh my God. Red Hot Chili Peppers 20 years ago had a Californication song. Yeah. You know, around that same time, Ice Cube was making music. Do you want to know what his songs were about in California? You listen to rap albums and you think we're all just shooting each other in the streets in California? Did you listen to NWA and you thought Eazy-E was just like, ride it in my 6'4", doo-doo-doo? No, man, it's not like that. That's fantasy. It's fiction. Rockers and rappers, they make shit up and then they sing about it, kind of like a novel. It's kind of like a novel. It's art. You're not supposed to actually believe that, I don't know, you're not supposed to believe every word of Tupac Shakur. I don't know, I'm trying to think of someone that's still relevant but old school. Chili Peppers. You're not supposed to believe everything that the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you believed everything they said, then they would always be, then you would always be giving it away now. You would be giving it away. But you don't give it away, do you? If you believed everything that they said, you would give it away. Give it away now. Give it away now. Sorry, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers. What are you going to do?
Industrial base, so they cannot rebuild.
By the way, has anybody ever
Destroy
seen
their
the
name
show?
in Iran.
Has anybody ever seen the show Good Place, where Ted Danson as the devil, when you go and you die, he asks you a bunch of questions to determine whether or not you're going to heaven or hell. And one of the questions is, have you ever seen a live performance of the Los Angeles funk group Red Hot Chili Peppers? Does anybody remember this? Psycho Sexy. Yeah. Suck my kiss. God, man, I was really into Chili Peppers when I was like the 7th, 8th grade. I really liked it. I still like them, you know. But so do squeeze. In the 90s, they were great, right? They were like quintessential 90s.
Never gets a nuclear weapon. Our objectives from day one. To the patriotic members of the press, nobody can deliver perfection in wartime.
Nobody
knows that more than anyone. But report the reality. We're winning decisively and on our terms. Iran is a vast country, and just like Hamas and their tunnels.
We already knew that it was a vast country. There's 90 million people living there. That's like almost 3 times the size of Canada. Yeah, we know. It's a vast country. We know. That's why no one wants to go to war with Iran. It's a big country. Invading it and colonizing a modern country with 90 million people there. Yeah, it's a little bit rough.
They've poured any aid, any economic development, humanitarian aid into tunnels and rockets. That's what they did with Hamas. Iran has funneled decades of state resources, not to their people, but into missiles and drones and proxies and buried facilities. But we are hunting them down methodically, ruthlessly, and overwhelmingly, like no other military in the world can do. And the result,
like no other,
speak for themselves.
I love Pete Hegseth. He gets I love his briefings now, because his briefings are like, we're the best, we're killing people, what's the problem? How come you're not making more propaganda for us? Why aren't you reporting how hard it is to fly a plane? Zoom, 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 zoom. How come you're not making more videos about how hard it is to kill a human being with a mortar shell from 500 yards away? Why aren't you making more videos about people's heads exploding from a bullet shot from 1,000 yards away? How come you're not making more videos like that? Why aren't you being a better propaganda wing for this president? Every single thing that he said, it's bizarre. The Secretary of Defense calls himself the Secretary of War, not a real title, and then he gets out and yells at the press about not spreading the good news about how great we are at killing people. We already know that the American military is good at killing people. We've been here doing this shit for a long time. Most of us have friends and relatives who actually went overseas and killed people or have been maimed or various things. My grandfather killed all sorts of people overseas when he was in the military killing fascists. My uncles, one went to Vietnam, the other one went to Korea, because one's just a little older, you know? They both went to wars. My God, man, I've got friends I went to college with. So many of my friends went to war, killed people, or called the jets to kill people. Like, we're engaged. A lot of them came back not the same dudes. We know. America, we're good at killing people. We don't need Pete Hegseth coming in. We're the best. We know how to kill people. We know, bro, we give you $1 trillion a year to go kill people. We know. We're all a little annoyed that it costs a lot of money to kill people. It's so funny to say, like, just berate the press for not being better propagandists. Like, what the hell are we doing here? It's not only do I have to watch the propaganda all the time, I have to watch the manager of the propagandists vituperate the propagandists and tell them that they're not good propagandists, and they televise this shit? Imagine, like, Herr Goebbels yelling at the... Was it Fritz Lang? How come you're not making better movies for the Reich? If you don't like making movies for the Reich, then you could get out of this country. That's what they did. That's why Fritz Lang came to America to make movies. Even though he made the movie Metropolis, the one with the robot, you've seen it's a silent movie, but you've probably seen clips of it. Metropolis. It was made in Germany, but during the war it got a little hairy, because if you wanted to make movies, you had to make pro-state movies. And so a lot of the German directors, they came to America. Our diversity became our strength. a lot of European thought leaders came to America because Germany wanted a monoculture and we wanted a diverse culture. And guess what? We won the war. Diversity wins. We always win with diversity. DEI. It's a great way to go. Don't forget to watch the 1 o'clock show. It's called Pick Your Battles. You can argue with me about DEI there. It's fun. It's fun. You can argue with me right there. You can come on. It's a call-in show. You'll love it. You'll love it. If not, if you're interested in call-in shows and call-in debate shows, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that, and turn on that bell, baby. Turn on that bell, or else they'll shadow ban me. Oh, they're my favorite.
All right, this is crazy. New York City.
Speaking of propagandists,
We spent roughly $81,000 per homeless person last year. 81 grand.
Not
that
bad.
kind of cash, those shopping carts.
Not bad. 81 grand. I mean, what do you want? What do you think it should cost? What do you think it should cost? What should it cost? What do you think it should cost for taking care of a homeless person in New York City? $84,000. It's almost like it would be cheaper to, I don't know, get them back on their feet, give them some job training, and help them for a short period of time to get back on their feet and back into the working. Most guys want to work. Most dudes, they just want to work. Most people, that's all they want to do. They want to work. They want people to say, hey, good job. Here's some money. That's all they want. They want to get laid. People are simple. I've been all over the world. And people are always like, well, which places, they're different over there. They're not different. They're not different. I make jokes about people from Oklahoma, Arkansas, and shit like that. But really, everywhere you go, people trying to get laid, people trying to relax a little bit, and they get up and they work. That's about it. They have their hobbies. Everywhere I go, I've lived in Japan and China and Germany. I've lived all over this world. I lived in England. I lived in 3 different states. And in California, I lived in North and South California. And people are the same everywhere. They want a place in the sun. They just want to, be safe, have enough money. I don't make $84,000 a year and I have a good job. Yeah, but they don't have to pay people to pay you. Like, you know what? If you're a homeless person in New York City, you also don't live in New York City. New York City's expensive. So they got to pay the all the social workers and shit. It's expensive to have homeless people. It's expensive to have people not contributing. You need to get people up. You need to bring people up. But they don't want to do that. They're trying to eliminate jobs, not create them. They're trying to put people in the street, not put them into apartments.
State Bush should be chauffeur driven. Now, I've lived in New York for decades, and I often truly wonder why. Yeah, it's the city that never sleeps, only because if you doze off, you might wake up inside a chalk outline.
He hates New York, but you know what? Greg Gutfeld went to UC Berkeley. He went to the same university as me, but I don't know where he was born. Let's find out. Where was Greg Gutfeld born? Is he Californian? Yeah, he's from San Mateo. San Mateo! Oh, you're from San Mateo, Greg Gutfeld, and he hates New York. Well, move, buddy. There's no reason you got to stay being a partisan hack over on Fox News, Ben. Just like not getting laughs every day, just talking to yourself in a studio and nobody laughs at any of your jokes. It must be so depressing to be Greg Gutfeld. I love Greg Gutfeld, though.
True, it's hard enough living here without being homeless, until you see how homelessness is incentivized. No bills to pay, free food, no accountability, a roof over your head when you want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's incentivized. It's so great being homeless in New York. Trust me.
On it. Of course, you don't need $81K for that. So the money must go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's shelter
It doesn't go to the people, obviously.
operations, administration, security, healthcare, social programs.
That's right.
Not to mention the bottomless mimosas. It is New York. In other words, everything except disincentivizing homelessness. So it's no wonder the homeless are growing like RFK's pecs since he started eating pandas. And we're surprised.
Oh, man. Why is MAGA so gay? The only thing that gets an applause break is a shirtless picture of RFK Jr. Yes, Zaddy. Why is MAGA so weirdly... They're like gay in the worst way, you know? What is with... I'm sure are there any gay people watching? Do you understand this better than me? I don't know why MAGA is so gay with the Grindr crashes and everything. Man, I used to have... he's still my friend, but I don't live in Virginia anymore. But I had this friend in Virginia, and he's gay. And he would tell me all the time that conservative guys, when they're drunk, would always want him to, give him the Bubba treatment. And I'm like, really? That guy? He's like, yeah, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, blown them all. I'm like, what? Those guys? Yeah, all of them. That's crazy. He had blown so many dudes that were like married and conservative, always conservatives. What's with that? I never understood that. Best comedian in history. Yeah, best comedian in history. If you suppress the urges, they will come out in weird ways. I guess that's what it is, right? It all started with Arnold Palmer. That's right. Gob, you're biased, bro. I'm biased? Yeah, I'm biased against fascism, of course. I already told you I hate fascists. Like, sorry, I hate Nazis. Yes, I'm biased. I hate Nazis. Always going to hate Nazis. I hate people that try to tell other people what to do. Hate them. I hate them. I hate bosses. Hate Nazis. Don't like them. Anyway, every homeless person should have a dog or cat. They're money makers. How about this? Every homeless person, we have all these empty houses and apartments. Let's take them away from the rich and just give them places to live and then try to find work for them. How about that? I like that.
Eyes? No, it's like hosting a free all-you-can-eat buffet and then being shocked when the view refuses to leave. But for the people running this grift, that's the point. They use compassion to get the money, but the problem remains, so the money keeps going. Think about how cruel that is. The worst place for a homeless, mentally ill person is a city.
So there you go. That's the ratchet effect he's talking about. It's a commonly held belief that if you give starving people money, then they will stop starving in the short term, but that means they'll be happy, and then they'll have more babies, which will cause more starvation. And so then if you give them money, then you keep them from starving to death, then they'll have more babies. And they say that will ratchet up the more suffering. So like in the utilitarian or effective altruist ideology, where they think everything is a closed spreadsheet, this belief will keep people from giving money to the poor or creating any kind of systems, institutions, or whatever to help the poor, because they think that it's actually causing more suffering. So Greg Gutfeld's making a joke about this, but it's a really commonly held belief. And that's why I always love watching Gutfeld, because he will always kind of flow out these old belief structures that we've abandoned because we know they're not true anymore. We've seen them at work. And yet they're always trying to bring them back for various reasons. So usually it's greed. Or it's almost always greed. So, selfishness. But just cold-heartedness and callousness, which is, what do you expect from Nazis, right? I mean, that's basically what Gutfeld has become, as a Nazi jester. He's a jester for the Nazis.
Especially New York. Freezing winters, humid summers, there's hardly any public bathrooms, so you have to poop in a bag and mail it to CNN, which I don't encourage, maybe. But there's a reason they used to put sanitariums in quiet, wooded places with fresh air and no loud, stressful noises. It's key to be somewhere away from crowds, which is...
Now he's talking about trying to get sanitariums, but you know what? Coming from a Nazi jester, it makes me think of all of the places the Nazis put the mentally enfeebled, they called them, and they put them in places outside the cities where no one could see them, and they were fine for a while. They were the elderly and people who didn't have their wits about them, or people who they just didn't like, asocial, they called them. People that didn't fit in. They put them in these camps outside of cities, and they were okay for a while, actually, in the beginning. But it didn't last long. Once the war really got cooking, they started executing those people too. Those people also burned in the ovens.
Why Kilmeade's book signings are so calming. But instead, we keep people in the most volatile environment possible because it's profitable for those in charge.
It's not profitable for those in charge. He just showed that it's not profitable. It's actually a drain on our communities. But here's the thing. We could create, I love this idea that people don't want to see homeless people. Okay, then create a system that gets homeless people off the street. No. We have police for that. We'll just crack their skulls. Let's put them out in the forest. And I get that urge because you just don't like to see them. You don't like to see the mirror that is the homeless population. The homeless population is a proof that your society is failing a growing number of the societal members. Members of the society are falling through the cracks and they're ending up on the street. through no fault of their own, sometimes through fault of their own, but usually it's just because the system doesn't work for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It rewards certain types of people, capitalism and the American way of life. It's not going to work for everyone. So some people are just going to end up on the streets. Is that something that you're willing to accept? Well, it turns out you're not. You don't like seeing it. You don't like stepping over people's feces. You don't like people howling in the street, going crazy, literally having mental breakdowns in the street. And people go crazy in the streets because the streets are dangerous. And you're not able to talk to anybody. You have no entertainment. You can't do anything. You're just out there. No one will talk to you. No one will love you. No one will touch you. You're not warm at night. You're not cool in the hot sun. And so if society doesn't want to see homeless people in the street, we have ways of fixing that. We can care for them. We can create job training programs for them. There's all sorts of things we can do. We can have free mental health for them. We can do that. We could pay for that. It would be cheaper than all the other solutions. Putting them in a home, giving them mental health help, and giving them a job. There's plenty of work to do. Plenty. But you won't do that. You'd rather hire the police to bash their skulls in and take them someplace where you just don't have to look at them. I think it's good that they're in the street showing us that our failures, Because if you want to change it, you can fix it. Or you can just put them under the rug, I guess. Most people who don't want to be homeless don't actually do anything to help any homeless. Yeah, that's right. Most people who don't want homeless people in the streets don't do anything to help them. That's right. It's somebody else's problem. And they'll say, well, my tax dollars pay for that. Well, yeah, should, but you're against paying taxes. And every time you put something on the ballot for homeless people, you vote against it. But my taxes pay for all that. I'm paying enough. I agree, you're paying enough, but unfortunately, you keep electing people that take your tax money and give it to billionaires, not homeless people. Imagine if instead of giving money to Elon Musk every year, we gave money to the homeless population. It costs far less money, and you'd probably get a lot better results. Your life would improve if you actually just took money away from Elon Musk and gave it to homeless people. I think $850 billion is a great start. I think we should take all $850 billion away from Elon Musk and just give it to the homeless, all of it. And I don't even care what they do. I don't even care what they do with it. Give it all. I bet you could give each one $100,000. Just hand it to them. They've done experiments like that in places like Africa where the money, like $100,000 doesn't go very far here, but $10,000 goes really far in Africa. And so they just went out and they just gave people money and then tracked what they did with it. And most of them, a few of them, squandered it, but most of them actually built roofs for their houses, bought investments so they can start businesses. It helped the whole economy. Just handing it directly to a person without all the bullshit, without any infrastructure, just directly to the guy. And all of a sudden, the whole community rose up. And the ones that did squander it, fucked it up, they were actually cared for by their community. The community came together and helped them. Pretty rad. There's been lots of experiments on this because there's places in the world where you could literally change someone's life by like $5,000-$10,000. You could change a person's entire life. It's pretty fascinating, I think. Anyway.
You're watching Chris Six, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. So shocking allegations against labor leader Cesar Chavez are prompting action across the country. The annual Cesar Chavez March right here in Corpus Christi was already canceled before the news broke. A union co-founder, Dolores Huerta, was supposed to attend that local event. Now, she revealed Chavez abused her and fathered 2 of her children. And to talk more about how states are reacting to the news, we're bringing in our deputy political director.
Yeah, such a bummer. The whole thing with Cesar Chavez, it kind of threw me for a loop, especially because I bring this on not to like hammer more on Cesar Chavez, but Cesar Chavez is a personal hero of mine. And now I'm finding out today, last night, that he abused this woman, Huerta, fathered two of her children, which makes me think, I guess that's proof. And it's difficult for me to come to terms with it because I'm a big fan of Cesar Chavez. A big fan. I've made videos about Cesar Chavez. I've read so much about him. I've read so many of his speeches. I'm inspired by the artwork of his resistance. I mean, so many things. I'm serious, man. I'm really a big fan of Cesar Chavez's work. He also is really important to Californians because a lot of his work in the Farm Workers Union happened here because of they were spraying poison on the grape workers, the people picking grapes and strawberries in California. And I just, I guess, here's the thing. When you're confronted with these things, you have to separate the person's work from who they were. Luckily, I say luckily, he's been dead for 30 years, But does that change who he was? Of course it does. Can you admire someone who did horrible things? Thomas Jefferson raped slaves. I admired Thomas Jefferson, and I hate him at the same time. I admire Cesar Chavez, and I hate him at the same time. Miles Davis, I admire him, but I hate him because of the things that they do to other people. And if any of those guys were alive today, I'd say they have no business being anywhere in public life. They're not alive. But if they were, I'd say get the fuck out. It's a deal breaker. I don't care how good you are in other parts of your life, get out. I met Michael Jackson 3 times, and I was blown away by how sparkling his personality was, how big his personality was. I met him when I worked at Disney, and when the allegations kept coming out, and it got where it's like, how many allegations about Michael Jackson are we going to get? I was like, this guy doesn't belong in public life. There's too much, man. Too many people are saying that he did this shit. Too many kids are coming forward. And then he did an interview where he said he was sharing beds with 9-year-olds. And I'm like, that's enough to get you canceled, buddy. You don't belong in public life anymore. Get the fuck out. Can you admire Michael Jackson and still hate him for what he did to kids? And then I bring it to Donald Trump, and I realize that there's so many MAGers who just love him. They just love him. I'm not sure what they see. I don't know what they admire about Donald Trump. What's admirable about him? That his show was good, The Apprentice was good. I don't know. I've been alive a long time, and I grew up basically knowing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has always been in my awareness my whole life. I don't know why people kind of idolize this guy. But he's a horrible person who raped children. He's a horrible person who trafficked children and raped women and said disgusting things about his own daughter. So can you love or admire something about someone and still hate him and agree that this person has no business being in public life and that he should be shunned by polite society? He should be gone. He has no business being around any of us or holding any kind of authority over other people. Just like I could easily say about Cesar Chavez. I know it's easier because he's dead, but if Cesar Chavez was here right now and still leading union workers, and I found out that he fathered 2 children with a woman that he raped, I think that I could say with a straight face that he shouldn't be working in this field anymore. He shouldn't be working at all anymore. Get him the fuck away from people. He should not be in charge of other people. He should have no authority over anyone. That's the thing. Donald Trump isn't just a child rapist. He's a child trafficker who's in charge of other people right now. He's in charge of all of us in some way or shape or form. He's in authority. And the whole reason I keep doing this channel is that I want people to question authority. I want people to think about and challenge the status quo. I want people not to be so easily swayed by leaders who say things with such high degrees of confidence, because they're probably confidence shysters. They're probably confidence tricksters. And they shouldn't be in charge of other people. Anyway, thank you very much. I see people saying there's try using facts, try using evidence. There's an overwhelming mountain of evidence against Donald Trump. He's placed at the scenes of many crimes by his flight logs and eyewitness testimony. He has accusers. We have that testimony. We have people who are alive today who say that Donald Trump raped them. We have a book written by his own wife that said that he raped her brutally. And we have, an adjudication against him where he was adjudicated as a rapist, and yet he's still in charge of other people. If Cesar Chavez, one of the most important leaders of the most important labor leaders in the history of America, if he is falling from grace, then surely this slime bucket, Donald Trump, who's been adjudicated of rape, then surely he should be taken out of a position of power.
Debate continues in the Senate on the so-called Save America Act. President Trump and Republicans claim the bill will fight alleged voter fraud by non-citizens. The president has even said he will not sign any other legislation into law until it is passed. Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia yesterday called out the president and his administration on this.
It was a cabinet official in the White House herself who said that we just want to make sure that, quote, the right people are voting.
The right people, huh?
The right people are voting. That was the argument in the 1960s. And had those who wanted to make sure that the, quote, right people were voting, had they prevailed, I would not be standing here today. We know that this will disenfranchise thousands, if not millions, of Americans. We have no evidence that this is a problem that actually needs to be solved, and yet they have shut down much of the business of the Senate in order to do this. They are hell-bent on getting this done. Donald Trump said that this is his number one priority, and so it begs the question, why is this his number one priority? With all the things going on in our country, why is this the main thing that he feels he must get done?
Good question. Why is it that he wants it done? Why so quickly? If it's just about voter ID and keeping illegals from voting, a problem that we don't have, but if that's what it's about, then why the hurry? Why the hurry for this November? Why sacrifice all the women who can't vote because of this? 50% of Americans don't have passports. 25% of Americans have no access to proof of their own citizenship. And yet you want to pass a law today that will prevent people from voting in November. It really is the most shocking authoritarian move I've seen in my life, this SAVE Act. It's the most draconian. Literally keeping people away from their voting rights. This is a poll tax. It costs $186. Some people think it'll average about $250 per person to have the right to vote. I live in America. You don't have to pay to vote. Well, Donald Trump thinks you do have to pay to vote. $250 a person. It's not much if you have it. If you're a person that lives paycheck to paycheck and your kid's got asthma and needs drugs in America and you got shitty insurance, yeah, $250 could be a lot of money. And if it's between getting your kids asthma medication so they don't die tonight versus getting a vote, being allowed to vote, a system that probably, isn't built for you. This system isn't built for us. It's built for the oligarchs. And yet they want money. They want $250 for me to vote. That's a Sophie's Choice type of decision to make. Are you okay with that? Seems like this is what we're doing now. That's the goal here. Separate people from their rights. That's the American way now. It's shocking to me that everyone's okay with this Nazi shit. When the only people that I know who were fixing elections were Donald Trump and Elon Musk. He was paying people millions of dollars to vote for Donald Trump. I remember the big checks and everything. Remember that? I remember that. I saw someone a second ago say, thank you, Joyous. I appreciate that. Thank you. Become a channel member, everybody. You can join us in dignity-based resistance. I saw something from Jonesy. If what Trump kept insisting was true, that he won the election in 2020, then he shouldn't be president now because he should have already served 2 terms. Yeah, that's what he says. But he says the same thing. But it's so he just likes to cry. He's a crybaby. Maggers cry all the time. You need a wet floor sign every time a magger comes into the room with a slippery floor because, my God, someone's got to get injured. They cry so much and the floors get so wet. Donald Trump hasn't stopped crying about the 2020 election. It's 2026, everybody, in case you weren't counting. 2026, 6 years have gone by. In 2021, he led a violent coup against the United States. And now he's, trying to exonerate himself by trying to prove that 2020 election was stolen from him? It wasn't. It was a fair and free election, and now Donald Trump knows that he can't win in the midterms, and he knows that he might go to jail, and now his desperation is showing, kind of like that little, when you could see his diapers through his pants. It's showing. You're showing, Donald. Your diaper's full. You know, now that we could see his desperation, we know why. He wants to fix the election. He said it. He says it out loud, and people are so dumb. They don't care. He says out loud that he wants to fix the election. He says out loud that if he doesn't win, he's going to go to jail. He says out loud that he wants only certain people to vote. And yet everyone will say voter ID is about illegals. It's not about illegals. It's not about illegals. Never was about illegals. It's about Project 2025. Indeed. There you go. Indeed. I saw someone say, what if all the Congress was a bunch of pedos? And I don't know who said it, and it wasn't a channel member, so fuck them. Somebody said something, how would I know? You wouldn't know. But here's something you do know. A large number of people in Congress were willing to shut down the government in order to protect chomos. That's why I call this country a chomocracy, because we are a country ruled by chomos. Or people who protect the chomos, do the chomos' bidding. The people with the money who are funding Congress, they're not funding Congress, they're funding the lavish lifestyles of the Congress people. Those people, and also our Supreme Court, people like Clarence Thomas, who's on the take. Somebody came on my call-in show yesterday talking about Clarence Thomas. I had to keep it in laughing because how can you think of anything Clarence Thomas says and take it seriously? A guy who's been proven to take bribes. He's on the take. And he protects chomos because the people bribing him and all of the others are chomos. You don't have to be a child molester to be complicit in the crimes. You don't have to be the person who actually did the dirty deeds to go to jail. Oh, people like to say, well, I don't think Noam Chomsky did anything with Epstein. He was there. He must have seen something. I didn't speak up. Noam Chomsky, another hero of mine. He's alive today. He shouldn't be in charge of anybody because he's friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He should not be in charge of anyone ever. No one. He should have no staffers. He should have not one servant. He should have nobody taking care of him. Nobody should be working for Noam Chomsky because Noam Chomsky, though a hero of mine, is friends with fucking Jeffrey Epstein, and he should be in charge of no one. He should not be in a position of authority. Donald Trump's the same thing. Woody Allen, an incredible director, writer. I used to love Woody Allen. I read his short stories that were so funny. How many of you have read Woody Allen short stories? I loved his movies. I was in Woody Allen. I wanted to watch all the Woody Allen movies. I just watched all the movies. I was crazy about Woody Allen. And he's in the Epstein files. Good friends with Epstein, a man who was accused of child molestation. And now we know he's an Epstein. I saw the thing where his own daughter, he married his own daughter, and then the other daughter is saying that she was molested by him too. He should not be in charge of anybody. Nobody should work for Woody Allen. He should not be in a position of authority. How can we say this about all these people But when it comes to Donald Trump, he gets a pass. What is it with you guys? Cesar Chavez? Yeah, throw him out. You're a rapist. Sorry, deal breaker. What's the deal breaker for Donald Trump? He's a rapist, not a deal breaker. He breaks into little girls' dressing rooms, teenagers' dressing rooms to look at their naked bodies and brags about it, not a deal breaker. He assaults women, grabs them by the pussy, whatever, moves on them like a bitch. So weird, moves on him like a bitch. Who talks like that? Who's the bitch in that scenario? He's the bitch, right? Moves on him like a bitch. I moved on her like a bitch. Did he move on was the woman the bitch? I think he's talking about himself being the bitch. It's a weird statement. I don't understand how that, like the grammar of it. Not a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker. Assaulting women and bragging about it, not a deal breaker. Raping a woman and being adjudicated and found guilty, not a deal breaker. 34 counts of fraud for using wire fraud and using all sorts of money that you shouldn't have been using in order to pay off your prostitutes. Oh, and you were with that prostitute while your wife, who was also a prostitute that you bought from Jeffrey Epstein, was raising your son as an infant. Not a deal breaker. What's the deal breaker? No deal breakers for you guys. No deal breakers for MAGers. No deal breakers. Bombing Iran. It used to be that was a deal breaker. For some of you, it seems to have been a deal breaker. Tucker Carlson seems to have gotten off the Trump train. Israel. I thought that was a deal breaker. Nick Fuentes got off the Trump train. But it's like there's so many of you still today in my chat, everywhere I go, you MAGers. There's nothing he can do that's wrong? Yeah, Epstein was also gay. These guys, because they don't get off by having sex. They get off by owning others. People like that. It's not about beauty or any of those things. Like Donald Trump sees beauty as a tool to get more power. That's all he cares about, to own others. He doesn't want beautiful wives. He wants beautiful wives for himself. He wants beautiful wives so he could show everybody else how powerful he is. And look at MAGA. They're like, oh, he has a supermodel wife. She was never a supermodel. Sorry, she was never a supermodel. She was a wannabe model that Jeffrey Epstein pimped out. But you hear MAGA all the time saying, oh, all his wives were supermodels. None of them were supermodels. But they'll say so because they love this idea of men owning women and using them as trophies or arm candy. Look at how powerful I am. Look how important I am. Look how beautiful my wives are. Anyway. All right, last one.
All right, the defund Democrats are at it again. This time,
sorry, I'm getting depressed on a Thursday. I'm getting depressed about this shit, man. I'm a little depressed maybe because of the Cesar Chavez thing. It does hit deep. It hits deep. But then I just named all these other people that I like, that I don't like anymore because of the Epstein thing. And yet I look at other people who like Donald Trump and they don't stop liking him. You know? They don't stop liking him. I can stop liking all of these guys, but they can't stop liking Donald Trump. Clearly, I have values and they don't. I have principles and they don't. That's the scariest thing about the Nazis, is that you thought that we all believed in democracy. No. You thought we were all against slavery. No. You thought we were all against child murder. No. You thought we were against child rape. Surely, no. You thought we were against racism. No, we're not against race. Clearly, it used to be the people who call into my show and say the N-word and talk about racism like it's cool again. Fucking 10 years ago, people didn't do that shit, man. 10 years ago, people weren't so open about their racism. It's kind of nice to have it all out in the open, I guess. But it's depressing too, isn't it? To know that all these MAGers would happily put you in an oven because you aren't racist, you aren't as racist as they are. They'd happily put you in the oven because you were criticizing their supreme leader. Oh yeah, the soft porn. I remember when all that stuff happened. Yeah, Darren. Yeah, I remember seeing some of that stuff back when it was. A lot of that stuff has been scrubbed from the internet ever since net neutrality died. A lot of that stuff got scrubbed from the internet. You know what else they scrubbed? I remember it was readily available. All of the Nazi advertisements that Coca-Cola made during World War II, and now you can't find that shit anywhere. They scrubbed it. It's crazy. Hey, buddy. Hey, hope life is going good. Life is going. I'm a little depressed today. I'm a little depressed. I'm trying to do the. I should learn that. I don't know how to do it. Dun 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 dun. I don't know. Almost. I never had one lesson. I'm a little depressed today. Just found out that Cesar Chavez is a rapist. Everyone thinks Donald Trump is okay for being a racist. And a rapist. Sorry, I read the word racist, and Trump made racism okay. Exactly. It's depressing. I can't be depressed today, though. You're not allowed to be depressed. You can't let the bastards grind you down. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Don't get depressed. You need a state change. I don't want this to be depressing. Let's watch Sean Hannity. He'll cheer us up. Let's watch a little Sean Hannity. He'll cheer us up, everybody. I'm sorry for being depressing. I'm not going to let the bastards grind me down. Don't let the bastards grind you down either. I'm sorry about that.
Fund the Department of Homeland Security. Without ICE or CBP, essentially just another effort to defund law enforcement. But as they continue their shutdown crusades, some Democratic lawmakers are admitting, quote, we are making people hurt. Okay, this is what Democratic Nevada Senator Jackie Rosen had to say. Not making it up. Take a look.
Yeah, we're making people hurt. Yeah, it sucks, right?
And as far as TSA, you're exactly right. Our problems are with ICE and trying to rein in this roving band of, I want to say thugs that have really just gone around knowing or thinking that they're above the law, acting without impunity.
That's right.
And breaking tonight from Republicans, the House just passed a bill requiring automatic deportation of illegals who commit welfare fraud. House Speaker Mike Johnson is now here with more.
I love these assholes. We just passed legislation deporting people who are illegally here who commit welfare fraud. Dude, they already were deporting those people. What are you talking about? They're deporting everybody. We're making a law to deport people. Yeah, you're deporting people. What the fuck? You're already deporting people. What are you talking about? This is so crazy. Did you hear the thing? This is great. Did you hear the thing where Donald Trump is saying that they know where all the Iranian sleeper cells are? Well, that sounds like a great job for ICE, idiot. Do you believe Donald Trump when he says that they know where all the sleeper cells are and they're keeping an eye on most of them? Do you believe that? And yet you're going door to door accidentally, quote unquote, arresting citizens or people who wrote op-eds criticizing Israel. You're arresting those people, shooting American citizens in the face, killing old grannies selling tamales under the bridges of Santa Ana. Those people you'll arrest. But the sleeper cells, they get to stay in America? What? You're okay with that, huh? The sleeper cells. So Donald Trump's cool with the sleeper cells is, I guess, what that means, since he knows where all they are. He knows where all of them are. So which one is it? Is he lying? Is Donald Trump lying about knowing where the sleeper cells are? Is he lying about there even being sleeper cells, Iranian sleeper cells? Or is he just making shit up? Or is he okay with the sleeper cells being here? Because if he knows where they are, and he has a private paramilitary organization called ICE now, why are there sleeper cells? If he knows where they are. It will be an inside false flag. Yes. Are you ready for it? Yes, he did. He really said that. Yes, look it up. He knows where all the sleeper cells are, all the Iranian sleeper cells. We've got an eye on most of them, but we know where all of them are. Well, go get them. What? Because he's lying. Or He's just lying. He's just lying. There's no way that we have all these sleeper cells and they all fucking know where they are and we're not doing anything about it. I just don't believe it. Because the military also does shit. They have a mandate. They have like general orders like go catch terrorists. And people like Joe Kent quit right after Donald Trump said that shit. Joe Kent quit right after he said it. I wonder why Joe Kent quit. I think Joe Kent quit because Donald Trump is saying that we know where all the sleeper cells are, and the counter terrorist people are on it. And he's like, what? Like, I think that's why he quit, because he can't stomach it, and he's afraid he's going to be the fall guy. He doesn't want to go to jail, because a lot of people are looking at each other in MAGA world right now and realizing, some of us are going to jail in a couple years here, and I don't want it to be me.
That's a good start. The SAVE Act is now in the Senate. I'm cautiously optimistic and hopeful, but I'm concerned. I don't know if it's going to get over, past that hurdle in the Senate. Your thoughts?
Well, we certainly encourage all senators to do the right thing and do what the American people demand and deserve. The Republican senators are working hard to pass the Save America Act. Of course, we passed it out of the House 3 times, the SAVE Act twice, and now the Save America Act. Sean, very simply, you're talking about requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote.
They're hard to get to. This is what I mean. This is how I guess they're hard to get to with Americans attacking the people trying to remove them. Yeah, that's what it is. It's really hard to get to the sleeper cells because Antifa. Yeah, okay, that's the rib tip. If you're that stupid, then my boy, I got some Donald Trump meme coin to sell you. If you're that stupid, I've got some meme coins to sell you, buddy. I'd love to sell you some QQ coins, some Doge coins, and some DJT and Melania coins. How many Melania coins do you own, rib tip? I bet you own a bunch. If you're dumb enough to believe any of Donald Trump's lies, you probably own a pair of his golden sneakers, one of his broken watches, some of his disgusting smelling perfume. I don't know what it smells like, but I bet it smells like diapers. And you probably own at least a little bit of those meme coins that he's selling, right? How many of his NFTs do you own? How are they doing? Are they? Can you sell them for a lot of money? Are they worth a lot of money now?
And a photo ID when you show up to do that. Those are 90-10 issues in the country, and 70% of Democrats say that is a common sense regulation and restriction on voting. And they won't do it. The Democrats in the Senate will not do it. And now you see this latest gambit that the House Democrats, Senate Democrats have joined together, the same group that gave us wide open borders and defunding the police. Sean, they're at it again. They are refusing to
Once again, open borders means freedom. If you're against freedom, then you want to close the borders. But the borders have never been open. The borders have never been open. Say it with me, everybody. The borders have never been open. I crossed the border during Biden years, and let me tell you, it was not open. You had to pass through with ID. You had to do all this shit. Even as an American citizen walking across the border, it sucked. Sucks even more now because now you have to just slide somebody. It's the same today, but you have to pay somebody both ways. The border is exactly the same today as it was under Biden, except now you have to pay somebody to get across the border.
open TSA and FEMA for the American people unless they can also reopen the borders for illegal aliens. That's exactly what's at stake right now.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Tell us about this bill you passed tonight.
Well, this is a very important thing. I mean, we've got to crack down on fraud, waste, and abuse in government, the abuse of our federal welfare programs. Obviously, it's a big problem in the country. And if you have illegal aliens who have already violated the law to come here and they're engaging in these other crimes, bilking the federal taxpayers, they ought to be...
Other crimes, if they are doing other crimes, then we can deport them.
Yeah, no shit. No shit. What the fuck?
We're passing laws to get them out of the country.
Dude, you're already deporting people that are literally here legally, so what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, they came here illegally, and we gotta deport them if they do something bad.
Well, yeah, so why are you wasting all of our fucking time? Mike Johnson?
Now, this about illegals.
The fact that they talk so much about illegals lets you know that we are in a fascist state. It lets you know that they're full-on Nazis, because the only politically vulnerable group that has been talked about as much as illegals is trans people and Jews. That's it. Maybe blacks in the South. Oh, these blacks are going to take all our jobs. These blacks are going to take all our women. These blacks are committing all these crimes. These blacks. It's the same shit, man. It's just another scapegoat. They use the politically vulnerable in order to amass and consolidate political power. That's what they do. This is how fascism works. This is how it rises to the top. Use the politically vulnerable, consolidate political power. That's the game. You understand? You can't pick on white people, white heterosexuals. I'm okay, but although they call me Antifa, they call me a terrorist, but they know that they're not going to really get at me. It'd be hard. Like, they could black bag me, but if they give me due process, which, you know, they probably will, I'll probably be okay, you know? But if I were gay or trans or black or Jewish or any of the things that they don't like, Muslim, oh God, Muslim. But the people that they really, the most vulnerable are immigrants. One step up, trans people, very, very vulnerable because they have no power, zero power. So you could crack their skulls and no one seems to care. Trans people are much more likely to be assaulted than almost every other group. You know who else? Immigrants. Immigrants are preyed upon by citizens, and they always have been since the beginning of this country, because you know what? They don't want to call the cops. You could do horrible things to immigrants, and the immigrants are unlikely to call the cops. So you can get away with it. That's how they like it. And therefore, there's a bunch of white people walking around feeling superior because of that, because the cops are a little bit more on their side than they are on the immigrant side. So they feel superior. Hey, Speaker Sargon of God, point to anything in the mainstream media that's critical of Israel. I dare you to try. Israel? You know I'm against the ethnic cleansing and genocide that Israel is carrying out. What are you talking about, hey, Speaker Sargon of God? Yeah, no shit. And? What's your point? Why don't you just make a point? Don't tell me to do things. Yeah, I agree. And? Or don't. Then I'll have to ask you, and then you have to pay me more money, and we can play that game. I appreciate the donation, though. Oh, I forgot. I do appreciate the donation, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Never had one lesson. I was going back and forth with Dave, and I was blocked. That is what you liberals do when you can't win an argument. Dave? I don't even know who Dave is. Who is preyed upon? Jesus. Prayed? Like you pray? Preyed upon? Please give an example with a name and a face. Well, Jesus Christ, you pray upon Jesus' name? Pray? I don't know. Pray. Are you talking about God again? Come to the, you know what, G Glove? Why don't you come to the call-in show and you can ask me. We got a lot of people talking about religion yesterday. You can come in and talk about Jesus if you want to make it a religious conversation. We do have religious conversations on the call-in show. Please subscribe, hit that bell icon, and then you could come on the call-in show. It's a great time. You'll have a great time.
Airline CEOs are now pleading with Congress to end the partial government shutdown that has 50,000 TSA agents working without pay. Now, some agents have been calling out sick, leading to painfully...
Oh, you think they just don't know how to spell, Robert Simmons? Sorry, I saw pray. They spelt it P-R-A-Y. Pray, I guess, was what they said. But pray. Who is preyed upon? Oh, you mean who's a preyed upon? Yeah, the politically vulnerable. I don't know. Are you even serious about that? Is that a serious question? Is that even a serious question? You said that right is anti-Semitic. That's a complete inversion of establishment's position, so you're talking junk. Oh, you're saying that they're not anti-Semitic because they support Israel. Now that is an erroneous statement. You could support the fascism of Israel without supporting Jewish people and their right to practice religion. That's a very different thing. I love that you brought this up because, and it's not entirely your fault, the Israeli government has done a lot of work to make religious freedom and race and Israel all kind of one unholy trinity. They aren't really... I mean, Israel's actually more diverse than people think. There's like a bunch of Arabs in their parliament, and there's the There's all sorts of people speaking different languages, and there's a lot of Christians living there. There's a ton of atheists living there. A lot of atheists, actually. I think they've got more atheists than Jews living in Israel at this point. Last time I bothered to look something like that up. Being pro-Israel doesn't preclude you from hating Jews. Being pro-Israel means that you like American interests in the Middle East to be looked after and babysat and, yes, strong-armed in the Middle East. You like having kind of this sentinel in the Middle East so that you can exert American military might over the oil countries. That is what pro-Israel is. And yes, you're absolutely right. But where you're wrong is you could still love Israel because you love that oil money. You could still love Israel and hate Jews. You could still love Jews and hate Israel. Especially in America, you might love American Jews and say, American Jews are my friends. I think they're great. They're pillars of our society. They are business owners. They're great people. I know lots of Jewish people. I went to school with lots of Jewish people. I grew up. My next door neighbor in LA was the same age as me. And he was from Israel, was an immigrant, was born in Israel, had an accent, the whole thing. Had to take English lessons. He was in a lot of ESL classes. They owned a video store. That's how old I am. Their family owned a video store, and they lived not next to, one house down from me. And his name was Or, and his dad's name was La'ir. La'ir and Or. I forget his mom's name. His mom's name was Orly, and his brother's name was Ziv. I grew up next to Israelis. I used to take Sabbath with them. I love Jewish people. They're important to my life. I love them. But Israel, I strongly disagree with the government of Israel. Very much so. Very, very much so. Thanks very much for putting that out there. It's important to differentiate. Steve, do you misunderstand on purpose or dense? I think Steve kind of likes to poke at me, and that's okay. That's supposed to, it adds some tension to the stream, doesn't it? Isn't it nicer to see some tension? Thank you so much. King of Kings, thank you so much for making a donation. I appreciate you. It isn't just California. No, it isn't just California. Yes. Trump abandoned our allied, the Kurds, like a bitch to Turkey. Don't worry, though. We're arming the Kurds now in order to go after the Iranians. Don't worry about the Kurds. They're used by everybody. Everybody uses the Kurds. They're a borderless nation. They're a nation that has no borders. It's a problem. It's an issue that's been going on since like the late 40s, early 50s. But now America's giving Kurds guns so that they can kill Iranians. So it'll all work out, I'm sure. It'll all work out. Anti-Semitic content is delicious candy for the alt-left and alt-right. Both establishments in power have zero delicious candy. Well, I guess, I don't know why you call it delicious candy. Yeah, I guess that's some kind of thing that you guys say. I don't know. Anti-Semitic content is prevalent in far right. I think far left. I hear anti-Israel. I don't usually hear anti-Jewish, but I guess Zionist could be a dog whistle. I'm not really sure. The Jews are always scapegoated, so I don't know. I'm an anarchist, though, so I think everyone should be free to do whatever the hell they want. So I say a pox on both their houses, Steve, and I hate anti-Semites. The KKK endorsed Donald Trump. They hate the Jews. Do you think that the Proud Boys, what do you think their take is on? Let me ask you, everybody, what do you think the Proud Boys, how do they feel about the Jews? How do you think they feel about the Jews? I don't think they like them. Shit. They used to hate Catholics. The KKK used to hate Catholics too. They called it a foreign religion. They used to hate them. They hated Catholics. Anyway, it's hard to keep up with all you haters. But I let haters be my motivators. So thank you all for being here. My name is Skyjack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate.
Lines at airport security and concerns mounting about the spring break rush. The lines at airports in Fort Lauderdale and Austin were so long, they stretched all the way outside the terminals.
They should be paid. This is ridiculous. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. So, missing a paycheck is a huge deal.
I don't agree with it. I think they should get the paychecks. I mean, I would definitely want to get paid if I'm doing that job, so it's pretty messed up.
President Trump's message to unpaid TSA agents: keep fighting for the...
Ooh, who started the KKK? Southerners. Pro actually being free and having real freedom, not what they call being free now. Agreed! Are you? You sound like an anarchist, the user Mac. Thank you. I love it. A Confederate started the KKK. That's right. Bedford Forrest, a Confederate, started the KKK. Well, it's a little before that, but yeah. Yep, it is. It was the Democrats. Jack for president. I love it. I could never be president because the first thing I would do as president is resign. Actually, the first thing, if I were president, would be to demand that Congress take away all my power so that they can actually do their jobs and stop allowing the president to do everything. The Proud Boys, LOL, bro. That's 2 years ago. Maybe it was well be talking about Backstreet Boys. Wild, because this is your job. It was kind of a joke, hate speaker. I don't know if you noticed by my tone of voice. I said, what was the Proud Boys? Do you think the people like the Proud Boys? Proud Boys are just kind of like the thugs that support Donald Trump. I don't know. Would you like me calling them the J6ers or something? I don't know. Pick your term. How do they feel about Jews? That was the question. Thank you for that. But yes, Catholics have been killing people for thousands of years in the name of God. Many Catholics have been. Great. They think that it's funny you say that because the Spanish Inquisition seems to have been kind of the birthplace of white supremacy. Many scholars think that was where it kind of all started, where people started thinking of the races as a hierarchy. So interesting, Bill Meyer. The Catholics, yeah, they're kind of one of the big perpetrators of that for sure. But do you think that Catholic families living in the South should be murdered by the KKK because the Catholic Church does bad things? What do you think about that? Thanks. Love it for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party. You're so stupid you don't even know how to spell the Democratic Party. Is it the Republic Party? The Rethug Party? The Repub Party? Imagine if everyone in the Democrats was as culty as the Republicans, and we're like, we're not calling them the Republican Party anymore. We're calling them the Republic Party. The Republics. We're gonna call them the Republic Party. It's just so stupid, man. Like, it's not a burn that you change the name just for your weird dog whistle fans. It's fucking weird. I always know if I meet someone at a party or something, if they say, I know what podcast they listen to, when they say shit like the Democrat Party, I'm like, oh, you've been listening to those podcasts, haven't you? This is not a conversation you're going to enjoy. Oh, you have no idea what's happening within right-wing politics. Lord have mercy. I have no idea. I watch right-wing news every day, hate speaker, Sergeant of a Cod, and I got you to fill in the blanks. What are you? That's what your contribution is to this community, is to fill in the blanks of what all the right-wingers are doing. Thank you. 1865, 6 guys from Tennessee started the KKK. Oh my God. All right. Thank you so much. Demon crabs. There you go. That's nice. That's nice. The Republicans, I just call them, Nazis, but they don't like it. They're like, how dare you? Except they love it. The Spanish then. Anyway, you hate the Spanish too? Okay, great. Everyone hates all these things. It's still the same Democratic Party. They just hide it much better now. But when you don't agree with them, the hate comes out. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? That's funny you say that. See, the Democrats, they can't agree on anything, so it's pretty funny that you think that they have everyone in lockstep and they'll have this like secret cabal. They can't agree on anything. That's kind of one of the problems of the Democratic Party. They can't fucking agree on anything. They can't ever get everything marched. They can't even march their troops in the same direction. one good thing actually about Nancy Pelosi was that she seemed to have this magical power over the party in Congress, at least in the House, that she could get everyone kind of marching in the same direction. She was a pretty good speaker. As much as I hate her, she was a pretty good speaker because of that weird superpower. But generally, Democrats, they can't agree on anything. So, no, the answer to your question.
USA, go to work. Joining me now, Henrietta Trace, co-founder and director of economic policy at Beta Partners.
Donald Trump thinks that people should work for free. Shocking. TSA, I talk about it every day. The TSA will be disbanded. It's in Project 2025. They're going to destroy the TSA. That's always been part of the plan. They've already destroyed the union that used to represent the TSA workers, and now Donald Trump is calling for them to work for free. They don't want to work for free, so now it's getting harder and harder for regular people to fly because the Republicans want to destroy TSA. It's always been part of the plan. They're going to try to blame the Democrats, and they're going to say it's because of illegals or whatever the fuck, trans people, whatever the fuck. They're going to blame the Democrats, but it's in Project 2025 to do exactly this, to break the TSA, make it impossible to fly anywhere, and then use oligarchs to create private security for airports. It's written down in Project 2025. And yet we're still debating whether or not the Democrats are the problem with the DHS. Is it spelled Republicans or Republicans? Yeah, maybe that's what we should do, the Republic with all the KKKs. It's really funny that ever since the Civil Rights Act was passed, the KKK has endorsed Republican candidates. And, well, I don't want to really get started about the NRA, and because I am a gun owner, and I agree with some of the things that the NRA says, but they are a bad organization. I spell it either Republicans or Republicans. I like both. Republicans. I like it. Republic can't do shit. I like Rethuglicans. I thought that was pretty cool because they're basically jackbooted thugs now. People like that thug Mark Wayne. Have you ever seen a more thugly piece of shit than Mark Wayne from Oklahoma? Now soon to be president of the United States. Now soon to be the director of Homeland Security. The second you realize any criticism of it's the same Dem party, they just hide it better, is an anti-Semitic dog whistle for they secretly run it. Oh, is that what that is? I didn't know. Thank you. I didn't realize that was the dog whistle. It's a Jewish space laser conspiracy thing. Ein Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit. It's always the same. They're the same as they've ever been. They just hide it better. Yeah. The KKK and neo-Nazis love Donald Trump. I know, they do. But I'm not supposed to talk about the Proud Boys, apparently. Apparently, I'm not supposed to bring up the Proud Boys, Steffelson. I'm not supposed to bring up the Proud Boys because that was 2 years ago. I'm not supposed to bring up January 6th because that was 5 years ago. I'm not supposed to bring up Donald Trump's rape of E. Jean Carroll because that was 30 years ago. I'm not supposed to bring up Donald Trump admitting to wanting to fuck his own daughter because that was 30 years ago. I'm not supposed to bring that stuff up. We're not supposed to talk about that stuff, guys. That's HA history. Not supposed to talk about that. The dromosphere is here. The next thing's coming down the pike. You're not allowed to talk about that shit. How dare you?
Thank you.
This thug's going to be,
Thanks for our conversation.
We're going to make this thug's going to be the president of the United States. Watch.
Today, I want to just actually add on to what Senator Langford was saying and just focus on the attack we had at a temple that's very close to my heart in Michigan, place I know well. Last week, we had an
Oh, wow. There was an anti-Semitic thing that happened.
anti-Semitic attack meant to terrorize not just that synagogue, but the entire Jewish community. And I think the light is really blinking red. And that is the feeling for the Jewish community. And just as an objective statement, the Jewish community is 10 times more likely to be the victim of a hate crime than all other religious groups combined. That's not a political statement. That's a factual statement from FBI data. We talked about the need to work together.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, you could talk about the KKK of the 1950s all you want. The Dixiecrats down there, generally called the Dixiecrats because it is a diverse party. The Democrats in the North, they didn't really. They just wanted the working class, and they were pro-union. And a lot of those unions back then were pretty racist because they thought that racism would protect their workers, which is, you can see why they thought that, and you can also see the error in their ways, can't you? And you had the Dixiecrats down in the South, and in order to win, they would join powers, right? That was a big problem. And then you had these guys come up with the Southern strategy for the Republican Party. And after the passing of the Civil Rights Act, the Southern strategy worked really well to get all of the Republicans on the side of the racists and the racists on the side of the Republicans. And the world changed. So, yes, I'm well versed in the history. I lived in the South. I know what I'm talking about. Trying to say that the Democrats are the founders of the KKK, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid, and you're so childish. We can't talk about the KKK, but you about Biden. Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. Biden was a joke too. Everyone, I mean, I hated Biden since I was 9 years old. Everyone's always like, Biden though. Yeah, great. I hate Joe Biden. Yeah, hated him since the Clarence Thomas hearings, because Clarence Thomas, when I was a kid, was trying to be Supreme Court justice, and it turned out that he had sexually harassed Anita Hill, and the guy asking the questions was Joe Biden. He asked a lot of questions, and he basically said all sorts of weird racist and sexist shit back then. And I remember as a little kid hating Joe Biden. I've always hated Joe Biden. I hated Joe Biden before you knew who Joe Biden was. I'm an OG Biden hater, so go to hell. Go to hell, maggers. Israel gets whatever it wants. Hate Speaker Sargon of Akkad says, apparently saying that it's too hot a property for leftoids to touch. One more topic we're all supposed to just ignore because it's ideologically inconvenient. How have I ignored that? Israel, I say it every day that Israel has health care and we don't. Israel has child help. What do you call the child? We call it Kindergeld in Germany. Has child allowance. We don't. We pay for that. That's American money paying for Israelis to have health care. I talk about it every day, Hate Speaker Sargon of Akkad. Thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hope you can hear my amazing stylophone sounds. Thank you. All funded by the U.S. Exactly. We don't have enough money for little starving kids in Africa or all those little kids that we murdered by withdrawing help in the form of PEPFAR. We closed down PEPFAR, signing the death warrants for about 15 million African children. The worst humanitarian crisis maybe in the history of the world. We'll find out in a couple years. And but we've got plenty of money to bomb Iranians and give money to Israel. It's weird. It's weird. We pay for abortions in Israel. Yeah, it's against the law to use federal funds for an abortion in America, but it's totally okay to send federal funds for abortions in Israel. Well said, Everett Tauscher. All these guys are... Oh, shit. That's such a good way of putting it. Yes, because their health care allows for abortion and we pay for their health care, American taxpayers are funding abortions in Israel. Very well said.
The Jewish community is spending about $1 billion a year privately securing their own institutions.
I'm putting Iran on a pedestal. Where do you see? I hope you're not talking to me, you fool. Yeah, I'm putting Iran on a pedestal.
No religious group should have to spend that amount of money that could be going to lots of other things on their own security in the United States of America. So I would just ask your help in reforming the nonprofit security grant program so it's agile, so you don't have to win the grant and then still do 100 pieces of paper, maybe even looking at a rapid reaction fund, but certainly asking for some sort of task force. I'm thinking about the community in Australia that went to the Australian government, the Jewish community, and said, we're seeing just a real uptick in threats. We're terrified. And then we have Bondi Beach and a very horrible thing. So
Bondi Beach, that was kind of horrible. I mean, it was horrible, but I don't know, Australia, man. What are you going to do? We give Israel billions and they buy our politicians with it. Hey, rappers and strippers, great point. Love the name, by the way. The handle, rappers and strippers, hilarious. How come you don't have a PFP? You need a PFP, buddy. But rappers and strippers says we give Israel billions and they buy our politicians with it. Yeah, but we also give soy farmers of America, dairy farmers of America, cattle farmers of America, turkey farmers of America, egg farmers of America, billions of dollars, and they poison us, poison our rivers and stream, poison our environment, and buy our politicians with the billions of dollars that we give to them. It's always been that way. See what they do. They threaten with it's pretty easy with their influence, the politicians. They say, you better do what I say, and when you get into office, and they get into office and they, all right, now give me the money. And then what they do, they say, okay, yeah, sure, we can give you the money. And they take money from the taxpayer and they give it to the billionaires. And then the billionaires take that money and they give it a little bit back to the politician. They say, hey, here's a contribution. Here's a little piece for you. Put that in your pocket. Make sure you get elected next time and give me more money. It's always how it goes. It's been like that for a long time. Why do you think Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex? That's what we're doing. We're taking your money and giving it to Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Ball and all of these horrible companies, these aerospace industry companies. We take that money, give it to SpaceX now. We give money to them, and they buy our politicians, and they get rich in the process. Brilliant. What could go wrong? And we do the same thing with Israel. You're absolutely right. But the thing about Israel, too, what's really funny is we give the billions of dollars to Israel in order for the Israelis to also buy weapons from the same people, right? So we have companies that give money to politicians, and then AIPAC gives money to politicians in order to continue to give money to Israel. So they take money from the people, give it to Israel. Israel buys more weapons. And so it's just a shell game of money. And you get fleeced. You get nothing. You get nothing. In fact, you get less than nothing. They're going to take your kids and they're going to send you to they're going to send your kids to Iran. Or if they can't go to Iran and bomb people and kill people, they'll just be bought and sold in places like Epstein's Island. You think Epstein's Island is an isolated incident? This is what's so funny. You think because Epstein got caught that this shit ain't going on anymore? There's tons of ladies' bodies buried in the desert of El Paso and Juarez. They know what that's from. It's from sex trafficking rings, like the ones that Epstein ran. You think that's the only one? You think that's the only international sex trafficking ring run by billionaires? You think that these customers are just at home jerking off now with memories? You think that's what they're doing? You think that all the billionaires, they're at home jerking off to memories of Epstein's Island? They're still buying and selling working class children and immigrant children. That's what they're doing. With your money, by the way. New member, Draco Rose. Thank you so much. I'm glad I stayed a little bit longer for a new member. Could I get some welcome emojis from all my members, please? All our Sky City Rebels. Could we get some welcome emojis for Dracos Rose? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dracos Rose. Exclusive content coming your way. I appreciate you. We'll do an exclusive stream right after this. You're attacking from ideologically allowed avenues instead of the core issues. Substance, your commie frame won't let you. Again, ad hominem attacks don't illuminate any of your arguments. Ad hominem attacks do not illuminate your arguments. Please. Construct your arguments in such a way so that I know what the fuck you're talking about. Attacking me does not present your argument any better. I know that all you alt-right folks, you love, like, it's just like that guy that was on my call-in show yesterday. He's like, oh, well, Japan's stronger than America because they only have Japanese people. And it's like, no, they're not. They have an aging population. They're actually quite weak right now because Japan has just opened up their borders more and invited more immigrants in. Because their aging population, they're unable to support them. They're unable to support all the old people, and they don't have any new people because no one wants to have any fucking kids. So they're opening the borders in order to diversify. And as soon as I say, well, Japan's not strong, they're pretty fragile, What'd that guy call me? Call me the FAG word and hung up on me and started screaming and yelling. Isn't it funny that all these maggers always do that? They just go to personal attacks immediately. Please, present your argument in a way that I can actually hear it, because just attacking me doesn't help. Thank you.
Can we just agree in public again in a bipartisan?
Oh, yeah, the suicide forest. I mean, I lived in Japan. And people are like, oh, let me tell you how Japan is. Motherfucker, I lived there. I lived there twice. I've spent multiple trips to Japan, and I lived there. I worked in Japan.
Basis to sit together to reform this program and figure out how we manage to the threat, because we're not hitting it right now.
Senator, you have a wealth of knowledge from your service in the intel community, and you will know this issue probably better than me. And so I would welcome the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, figure out what we need to do. I know this is very personal to you, and that's great. We may have some differences on some political views, but this isn't one. You and I.
This guy, I can't believe Mark Wayne. This is going to be the new Secretary of Homeland Security. Anyway, I was hoping that I can end on a happy topic, but today is kind of a depressing news day. I'm kind of glad. This is Thursday. I was hoping to have just something, man, but I just don't have any good news. I guess I just have one more.
And less than a week after Gabbard announced investigations into what she called politically motivated leaks, former counterterrorism director Joe Kent is reportedly now under FBI investigation over alleged leaks of classified information. This was first reported by the outlet Semaphore. Sources said the probe predated Kent's Tuesday resignation, in which he criticized the president's decision to attack Iran while placing most of the blame on Israel. Trump, in response, called Kent weak on security and not smart. The FBI and Justice Department have targeted several Trump critics and former advisors for investigations, but most have ended without criminal referrals or indictments.
Weak on security and not smart. Joe Kent is a man who held water for Donald Trump for years. This is the thing about Joe Kent. He's hardcore MAGA. He is super duper MAGA, like right-wing salute type of guy. He's way deep in, and even he is starting to see the writing on the wall and doesn't want to go to jail because he realizes that a lot of what's happening in Iran are war crimes. He's the counter-terrorism guy. Donald Trump's on TV saying that we know where all the sleeper cells are and that they might have been the ones who bombed the school in Iran with a Tomahawk missile, that they somehow... ridiculous stuff. And Joe Kent quits. I guess that might be the silver lining for today. Maybe this is the piece of optimism we all needed, because this always is what happens. It's just a matter of time before the fascists, the authoritarians, they get too big for their britches and their power corrupts them. Donald Trump is decaying. He is decaying on the inside, and the rot is becoming evident. And it's not just in the form of swollen ankles and bruises on his hands and rashes on his neck and the makeup smearing and the weird nose that he's got now that's like full of holes. He's got that crazy looking nose with all the holes in it, and he just keeps on putting makeup on it. That's not the only way that we can see that he's rotting. He can't string a sentence together. He called Gavin Newsom the president of the United States yesterday. Donald Trump did. He calls him the president of the United States and calls him dyslexic and therefore stupid. This is what Donald Trump is just proposing now, that we know where all the sleeper cells are, that Iran was about to attack us, and also Gavin Newsom is president of the United States, and it's also 2093. Donald Trump doesn't know what year it is. Joe Kent doesn't want to go to jail. And more people are going to start waking up. Marjorie Taylor Greene saw it. You tell me she wasn't MAGA enough? People are starting to wake up. Joe Kent's just the first of many. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that you're here, and I love you. Thank you. Got some new followers. That's a win for us all. Thank you, the user Mac. Wonderful. Thank you very much for being here. I love having new subscribers. Welcome to Illegitimately Non-Carborundum. Welcome to the Skyjack Morgan's channel, the number one news reaction show on YouTube, The Morning Sky. If you like this, maybe you'll like the afternoon show. I come back on at 1 p.m. Pacific, and we have a call-in show where you can pick from 5 menu items, 5 battles, or you can bring your own battle. You can BYOB as well. Join me for the Pick Your Battles podcast. Make sure you put or call-in show. It's not a podcast, more of a call-in show. And you could hit that bell icon so you know when it's live. I'll do it 4 days a week for you, baby. Thank you so much, the user Mac. Thank you. Let's see. You look fabulous, Sky. Can't wait for the call-in show. Commie Punk. Thank you so much, Hate Speaker Sargon of Akkad. I look fabulous. You look fabulous. You know why I look so good? Because I feel so good. I feel so good being part of this community. I feel so good having so many of you here. Sorry about the audio issue today, but I don't know what happened. I'm going to restart my whole system before the next stream. I'll see you at 1 o'clock if you're nasty. If you aren't, then I'll see you tomorrow for the... Actually, tomorrow's Friday. Usually I don't go live on Friday, but we'll see. If something crazy happens in the news, I'll go live on Friday as well. And if not, I'll see you on Sunday for the Ethical Underground. Godspeed, rebels. Illegitimy non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down, because I need you and we need each other, and the animals need us most of all. Godspeed, rebels. And if you are a channel member, Afterglow starts right now. The exclusive stream starts right now.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.